It's the Bennington Show, and that starts a week of Dylan covers or songs about colors. I'm not sure right now. I'm sure Chris Stanley will come in with a fish cover as he normally does. But I honestly believe that I stole the best of all.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you have to wonder, is it better than?
Yeah.
Is it better than?
Yeah, so I think we got to always shoot for that, better than. So much to get to today on the Bennington Show. We've got all kinds of funny people coming in. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm going to just ask everyone here a quick question. Where was Joey Jojo born? And where did he grow up?
He was born in Puerto Rico.
And then grew up in Minnesota.
The only two states little Marco has won.
Yeah!
Oh, my God.
The Joey Jojo connection is driving me crazy.
Get those delegates.
Yeah, he picked up an extra 23. 70% of the vote. Off we go. It was a battle royal with everybody just attacking one person. Trump was just taking it from all sides over the weekend, the left, the right, almost down to the point where I'm digging in and just sticking up for the guy because this no longer looks like a fair fight. No. He's not Hitler. He's not. People who say that he's Hitler have never studied Hitler at all. The racist stuff that SNL did. I'm sorry, you had Trump on your show. Does that mean that you guys are fucking racist and you wrote bits to put him over? Why didn't you run the fucking racist bit when he was on there? That would have been edgy and ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, when he works for helped your ratings so much, now we're friends.
I don't know what it about is with SNL. They feel like they always have to attack Trump and they have to attack the Stangles. I don't know what goes on with those guys.
Why do they do it?
But everybody was just throwing chairs and just picking up sticks. And not only, look, you're not only attacking Trump, you're attacking the people who voted for Trump. The Republican Party is attacking the people who voted for Trump as to somehow being racist rather than people saying, hey, we're tired of the Washington insiders. Personally, I would get behind anybody who wasn't a Washington insider right now. You guys have had enough fucking time. I think, what do you had? 48 presidents?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Get 48 presidents to yourself. Why not have a fucking casino guy come in and see if he can turn this thing around? Vegas up the deal a little bit. But it is amazing. If you are a Trump backer, you're basically being told that you're a racist, brown shirt, who wants not only the destruction of the Republican Party and America, but yes, the world itself. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. I mean, at a certain point, people sound crazier than Trump. And this fucking Mormon who came back into this thing, this Mitt Romney, who has, I believe, 7 or 8 wives. Look, I just want to, people have to understand this. There's a long tradition that once you run for the presidency, once you get your party's backing and you run for the presidency, if you are beaten, right, you keep your loser stink out of the picture. You don't come back on that platform speaking for the party again because they don't want to be around a loser. You don't want to remind people that, hey, we backed this guy and this guy lost. Jimmy Carter was a president for the Democrats. He lost. I think it took him like 30 years before he was invited back to do anything. And that's because they figured out he was toothless and harmless. Now, I'm not even saying it's his fault or the guy didn't have good ideas. It's just something traditionally you did. Mitt Romney went in against a president who didn't even at the time have a 50% approval rating. And he didn't just get beat. He got shellacked. Yeah. It was like over 100 electoral votes. He got shellacked. There were 15 states to fight for. In other words, 15 states that weren't cocksure that you were going Democrat or Republican. And he lost all but one of those states. He got beat the fuck up and didn't even see it coming. You know what I mean? He actually on election day had gotten all dressed up in a prom dress, put the fucking queen thing on his head, had roses, and then let the pig blood fall down on him in front of everybody. And now this guy wants to come back and get involved when the Republicans finally have a push. It's amazing to me.
Nobody should be paying attention to anything he says. And you're right. Just for your own party's sake, just stay in the background for a little while. We're still not, there's still no reason to trust his opinion on anything.
There was never any reason. They should just put a bolt in the back of his head. Just put him down.
You can't say stuff like that without the FBI coming by to look at you. This is how stupid you are. I'm going to get to another story. One that we blew. Rampage in Astoria should have been our Periscope news team there immediately. If you go over to the iBang, you will see a picture of what I consider a young Chris Stanley lookalike. This is what Chris Stanley looked like the day I met him. It's the same matted down haircut, still needing a shave. Unfortunately, he's just a little more brighter and bushy tailed than our own Chris Stanley is now. So this dude went on a rampage in Astoria, steps from your house.
Yeah.
Gail, what exactly did he do, this guy?
So this guy, I believe, first did a subway slashing, did a face slash.
To a mother of four.
Then he runs. Mm-hmm. I believe he then sets a homeless man on fire.
Yeah.
He throws accelerant on him, lights a match, lights a homeless man on fire, then runs into a liquor store, stabs the liquor store owner or the guy behind the counter, whatever, then douses those guys in some lighter fluid, and I believe lights them on fire as well. I think the guy he stabbed died. And then runs out of the liquor store, and then there's like a firefight. I don't know, cops are opening fire in the middle of the street. It was nuts.
Also throwing accelerant at the cops. He had like a bunch of basically lighter fluid in a Corona bottle and was just hurling it at the cops.
This sounds like a Chris Stanley 3 a.m. scope. So not only should this have been our headlines, but B, when this guy stole your act, why weren't you out there reporting, Scoop? What happened to you?
I lost the story this weekend. This is a weird one.
This was the story of Astoria.
They actually said that he had a fiery Mets hat that he was throwing at people.
What? You're ripping me off, bro. This guy's such a bro. It's ridiculous. And he was shot 6 times by the police as he was hurling juice at them.
Did he live?
No, he's dead.
He is. He's dead as fucking Disco. Although Disco's still big in Astoria for whatever reason.
We love it.
How did you miss this? The neighborhood must have been lit up with sirens, news teams, helicopters. You can't be as fucking straight right now as you say.
I'm straight. I'm a sober man. But the cops from all over were rushing into the neighborhood just to try to take this dude down. Because he was fucking not only slasher, arsonist, human arsonist.
Dude, it wasn't just the cops from the neighborhood. Everybody came from every single area. Cops, ambulance, fire trucks. What are you doing that you missed this? You're the guy who tells us you're the unofficial prom queen of Astoria.
I should be the mayor of Astoria, but I didn't have my eye on the news. And it's in my neighborhood.
How about just listening? You were the guy that always had your ear to the streets.
Yeah, there is a fire department down the block from me.
I saw it on TV. It looked like the Weather Underground, right? It literally looked like the Weather Underground re-blew up a brownstone. And this young Chris Stanley lookalike was the center of it all. Look at that kid. I like to put that picture next to the one of your dad. They both have the same soulless eyes.
He's a good-looking guy, you know?
Now, I got nervous. I had to text you because when I heard the story, I thought, homeless man, that could easily have been Chris.
That's that mistake.
That could have been him. A lot of people could make that mistake.
The weird thing is there's a lot of young homeless in Astoria. They've been piling in lately.
Yeah, they're like fish heads.
Yeah. They're just coming to where the
those
action
dudes
is.
that look like they're real tired with their sign, Like they won't even look up or ask for anything.
Oh, like the crust punk types with like, they always look like they're covered in, like they've just come from the Dust Bowl.
Right.
And then they've got like an old dog with them.
Yeah, and it doesn't even they don't even have a sign that says please help. They have like a fucking, just a long chapter of everything that they need to help to get out of town. You're like, I can't stop and read all this. Sorry, Grapes of Wrath, but I'm in a fucking hurry right now.
Concise.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do have a dog, I'm more likely to help out. And then you'll just see like 8 bowls of water because everyone feels like, I'll bring that dog a bowl of water. There's 8 of them there now.
I like when they just ask for people for cigarettes. That's not really a need.
Boy, a guy came over, me and Chris were smoking by the Fox. So first he's clocking me, right? And I realized only later, I'm like, I'm going to be on the fucking ground with this dude. I don't know who he's fucking glaring at.
Weird.
And then he stumbles over. By the way, he works for the building. He's pushing around a trash can and with a broom. And he tries to get a cigarette out of Chris Stanley. You would have fucking thought that he asked Chris Stanley for a baby. Chris fucking starts to give him a face job about buy your own fucking cigarettes. I had to walk away from it.
Do you understand? It's $14.50 across the fucking street, dude.
I understand, but I couldn't stand there for you giving a beat down to a fucking brother that was down on his luck.
He kept asking. I was like, no, I got nothing for you, dude.
Now, has anyone ever done that with a cigar?
No.
Anyone that's like it?
Can I tell you who does? Black dudes. Black dudes will say, is that a Cuban?
Yeah.
Every fucking time. They'll ask if it's a Cuban. And I'll go, no, it's not a fucking Cuban. He goes, well, they're the best cigars. I go, they're also illegal. Don't make me fucking go with it. Then they'll go, like, you got an extra cigar. I go, yeah, I got an extra cigar, a fucking $20 cigar. What do you think? I'm just going to hand you $20? This game is over, sir.
Ridiculous. People are greedy.
Everyone feels like, and people will even be like, oh, I thought it would be real fun if for you and I had a cigar together. I go, then bring 2, motherfucker. That's like asking me for a fucking slice of pie.
It ain't gonna happen.
No, it ain't gonna happen at all. Greg actually said this guy did more in a few hours than Chris did all weekend. Can't fight that. Tim Knight says, thank God for NY gun control, right? Well, dude, he didn't fucking shoot up 50 people, right?
Tim.
This is what happens when you don't have an automatic weapon. You kill one.
I don't even think he did have a gun, right?
No, he just had a knife.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is about gun control. If this dude had an automatic weapon, he shoots up half his Astoria.
This is the perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, imagine then this crazy person was able to kill
And he literally
25 people in
was
5 minutes.
a crazy person off his meds.
Yes.
You know, when they went back, like, this guy didn't have his meds. Luckily, and that was another thing, when it didn't have his meds, I know Chris hasn't had his, as he calls, Corona meds.
That's my medicine.
He still drinks Corona.
It's a delicious drink.
Yeah, you love it ever since the Jimmy Buffett tour in '89.
I like that. I like Land Shark. 2 favorite brands of alcohol.
Is Lancashire Buffett beer?
It's Buffett's fucking beer.
It's hilarious.
It's just a Corona ripoff. It's hysterical.
Well, but I remember that was like a big thing that no one had ever even heard of Corona. And they started to put up money for these Buffett tours and these big parties. And then they got fucking huge. At first I'm like, a Mexican beer? What is he? Fuck, you know, are things bad for Buffett? This is how much better he is in marketing than I could ever dream him being. And it got fucking huge. And then everyone started to act like May 5th was a holiday.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
Another party holiday. Like, it's not really a holiday, but it's an excuse to drink. Much like a St. Patrick's Day.
Or Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the point now, Christmas Eve is the drunkest day of the year.
Yeah.
And the Santa stumble that they do everywhere.
Yeah, SantaCon.
Seriously, every holiday now is about cosplay and drinking.
Yeah.
And yet, why isn't Comic-Con a drunk fucking time?
I don't know. Do they even serve drinks there? It doesn't seem like they
Doesn't seem like they do.
They have to. Get some of those halls that have open bar once in a while. Once again, doesn't want to get a little lit up while Game of Thrones is talking about God knows what.
But I was just thinking for the stumble around and groping time with the girls dressed up like Wonder Woman.
Another Wonder Woman. She looks great.
Somebody said to me this weekend about the trailer for Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
They actually said, they're going to ruin this. I go, ruin Superman and Batman. How is it not already fucking ruined? How did Adam West not ruin it? When did you start to think it's something an adult should take seriously? This thing cost $250 million before the marketing. $250. That's fucking crazy.
Only thing this is going to ruin is Warner Brothers. I mean, it's $500 million total so far. It hasn't even fucking come out yet. This thing needs to be the big highest grossing movie. It has to beat Star Wars for anyone to stop sweating. Because this is like the whole thing. After this one, it's going to release like the Justice League movie or whatever. So they're just trying to do the Avengers. But with DC, they're fucked.
Why do you feel the need to talk like every other moron on fucking Twitter? Why not add something to the story? I have seen and heard what you're saying 1,000,000 times now. Why are you just one of the bros online?
I got it from James Dillon's Twitter account.
First of all, James Dillon has a better name than you.
Bullshit. Chris Daly's better than James Dillon.
No, James Dillon is a badass name.
Dillon's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's got the name of two different fucking gunslingers.
Yeah.
Of two different eras.
Oh, rest in piss, James Dillon.
I'm starting to believe my new prediction. They don't let Trump get anywhere near this thing.
You think they're just going to completely box him out? I can't imagine the people would be comfortable. And here's the thing. No matter what your politics are, if you're left, if you're right, whatever, if you see that happening, that a party would do that when the majority of the votes are coming through for a candidate and then they would then shut that person out, nobody should be okay with that. No one. I don't care what your politics are.
Well, Stanley already said he'd run around like James Dillon. That's one way of looking at it. And then also screaming about Warner Brothers like every other asshole online. Hey, the GPS, LA, a lot of raves for it. Big ups to you. Big ups to Jam Band. But we've got to give out the signed Bennington shirt.
That's right. And also GPS LA replays tomorrow, March 8th at 10 a.m. and Wednesday, March 9th at 4 p.m. if you guys didn't catch it. And it's also on demand.
Yeah. And after all that talk of surf talk and all, the Frank Zappa was, to me, my favorite break.
Yeah, the Beefheart and
the Beefheart and Zappa. Beefheart and Zappa, I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm like, I hope someone fucking tunes in right now and then finds out we're talking about sunny California.
Yeah, actually, I really liked that break too, because those two are not normally my thing. And
right.
after listening to them and doing a little research, I was really into it.
Well, here's the deal. A lot of times when people aren't your thing, you'll find out that it's because of the people who are fans of theirs.
Right.
Who say their name so much. I had a fucking guy that I worked with, and he was great. But every time, and this is my first radio station, every time my program director went in to take a shit, he slapped on Zappa. So I had to hear every meeting, I don't want anyone fucking sneaking Zappa in. It would just fucking come up every time that we had a meeting.
And then you also have the association of feces with it, so that's not good.
What association? Was he a shit eater?
No, because you said type shit.
Oh, I had to go back to the Zappa. I'm like, did someone say Zappa? Was there an urban myth? All right, so the Twitter contest, we're giving out the signed Bennington T-shirt. And don't let us hear the names.
I'm not going to read names. I'm going to give you 5 great tweets. And then we will do secret ballots and vote which one is the best. Okay. Tweet number 1. First Saturday of the month, you know where to find me. GPS Los Angeles, home of the Doors.
Oh, I like that already.
# Deep Tracks. Butch Coolidge lost his LA privileges, so he's tuning in, and so should you. Listen to Ron and Gail bring LA of the 60s to # Deep Tracks.
Oh, I dig that in a big way, because no one ever says his last name.
Okay. Tweet number 3. God only knows on the day my firstborn is moving out. Cue the tears. Beautiful. Hashtag deep tracks.
Wow, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And we normally don't get sentimental, sad tweets.
No, but I identify with that one completely, because when I dropped Gail off at college and I was pulling out, I have the radio on, and Landslide comes on.
Oh, man.
And we all just started looking out different windows. This song I never knew how true it was.
Okay, next one is there are things known and there are things unknown. And in between are the doors of hashtag Bennington. Hashtag Deep Tracks, Channel 27.
Well, a pretty good one.
That is a good one. And then the last one, hashtag Deep Tracks with @Gaylan rocking that East LA barrio look. I'm getting razzed for my chola look in my pre-show Periscope.
Now, did you only do the top button?
I buttoned all the way to the top, yeah. But I was buttoned fully. It wasn't only the top button.
See, I'm not.
But I guess I should have thought about it, because between that and my eyeliner that I do always, it was a natural chola look that I was not intending to, but it fit with LA.
Anytime that girls button all the way up like that or wear a choker, there's always a rumor that something happened to their throat.
Really?
Yeah. One of the Golden Girls, the one who was Maud before that, there was always a rumor that she had a big slash across her throat.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because she always was covered up her throat.
Annie Hall, she does that as well.
Yeah.
She does all the way up to the throat, and then she always does gloves as well.
And everyone always says that Woody Allen threw bleach on her.
Really? I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe everything I hear. All right, guys, let's do our little vote here.
All right, I'm writing mine down. Mine's really ripped between three.
I have mine written. Secret ballot.
Okay, I'm now collecting the ballots. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. We have got a winner.
All right, who is it?
Oh.
The winner of the hashtag Deep Tracks contest. God only knows on the day my firstborn is moving out. Cue the tears. Beautiful. Hashtag Deep Tracks for @Suze's Music.
Yeah, nice. Wow. I didn't realize how sensitive the boys were.
I know. I didn't know.
I should have known Joe was kind of a sensitive guy.
I did the Cholo one. I thought that was hilarious.
You're not allowed to give away your
That's
vote.
not what you
What's
do.
the whole point of secret ballot?
Come on, now it's known. It's a known ballot now.
All right, so now I know who that one was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was running down Gail. The one thing about little fucking Marco, he'll always give away.
Yep.
He'll always give away the secret ballot. If we didn't want to do secret ballot, we would just say it out loud.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me say my?
Oh, no, you do it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You do it great. We got some great comedians coming in, including the champion of the world, Judah Freelander, is stopping in here today, as well as some contestants from March Madness over at Caroline's.
Yes, Dan Perlman and Greg Stone will be in. And they've got March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. at Caroline's.
All right. So it's between Greg and they're going up against each other?
Yes, they will be facing off.
See, that's why I hate these contests. You take two buddies, and then we're all forced to choose.
Two best friends fight to the death.
It should just make them fight at Caroline's.
Like physical fight?
Like physically fight.
Well, if you've ever watched their stand-up, it's like getting punched. I don't even know what that means, to tell you the truth. I'm not even sure.
Could be good, could be bad, honestly.
I'm not even sure I mean that. So you know how everybody is calling Trump Hitler right now? Here's the person who called him Hitler for the first time in public and said it to his face. See if you can guess the voice here. Well, you'll be able to guess within seconds.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, mein Führer.
Only Gilbert can say that.
Only Gilbert can get away with it.
No, here's the thing about Trump. He says only Gilbert can say that. Only Gilbert can compare me to the man who ran the helicopter. That's Gilbert.
It's so much funnier also saying, thank you. Thank you, mein Führer.
So
I wasn't
hilarious.
even saying it angrily.
Eric wants to update us on Neck Rumors, the great album in the 70s. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so at least in my frame of reference in the last 35 years, the origin of that, I think the origin of that, where it comes from a lot of people around my age, where they would suspect someone having something to do with their neck, was you guys remember those scary stories to tell in the dark books?
Oh, yeah.
So there was the one about the girl who had the green ribbon around her neck, and she would never remove it, and the guy she was married to on her would never see underneath it. And on her deathbed, she allowed the guy to untie the ribbon, and he does so, and her head falls off. So I wonder if that's sort of the origin of people around mine and Gail and Chris's age, or why they would suspect that.
Guys, do you think it is?
It occurred to me when you said it. First of all, those scary stories have always stayed with me. Not only because of the stories, but the drawings, the illustrations that went with them were terrifying. Like, still to this day, I think about those.
Now, what age group were they? Early teens or late?
I guess they would probably been intended for tweens.
Yeah, these are tween
term
stories.
did not exist then.
Tween birth and teenage years.
Yes.
Tweens.
And just creepy, disturbing shit in these books.
Really, really disturbing. And yeah, even worse than the stories were those horrifying drawings that were just...
See, when I was younger, it was the Tales of the Crypt comic books. It was even before the TV show. And those were things that you could get in trouble for in school.
Right.
Like when you're in 4th grade and you got caught with the Tales of the Crypt, everybody was talking about it. Is it Tales of or for? It's Tales of the Crypt.
Of the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. Well, I know the scary stories, and then eventually it was like Goosebumps and then Christopher Pike that like our teachers had to say, stop doing book reports on scary stories and Goosebumps. This does not count. This is not real reading material.
I had to be told to stop doing book reports from baseball players in the 1930s. But whatever it was, I was like, this is an amazing fucking story. And forget, that Jesse Owens movie that came out?
Yeah.
I probably could have fucking written that movie. I read so much about him when I was a little kid. Loved him.
You could have just had the source material of your elementary school reports.
It goes to show you, though, like, the propaganda of it, because when you watch the movie, like, when you read the book when you were a kid, America was such a good country and so good to black people and so much better to Germany that we sent our friendly blacks there to whip their ass. And I was always like not only proud of Jesse Owens for beating Hitler in a fucking race, but proud that the United States was such a progressive liberal place that blacks could live, comfortably. And then you watch the movie and you're like, he was treated pretty shitty in this country.
Yeah.
Even when he got back.
Absolutely.
And not even just down south, everywhere.
He won. He beat Hitler.
Dude, there was a thing where he's in New York City. He comes back with the, and I don't know if this happened. This was in the movie, though. So he comes back with the 4 gold medals, and he's being honored in New York City at, like, the Plaza or someplace. It's to honor him, and he still had to go around the back and go through the kitchen to get
Jesus
in.
Christ.
Yeah.
He couldn't go through the front door.
It was really heartbreaking. That scene was just horrifying.
Other people have written in, too, that the guy in Astoria wasn't killed the way you said.
I read he was killed because he was shot 6 times.
We'll look it up. I think someone said, I don't know who said this because it was earlier. He was shot in the leg.
Wounded. I thought
So
it was.
you didn't read.
No, I did.
This was your neighborhood.
It's my home. I read he was dead because he got shot 6 times, and it was like he was killed.
There have been people killed, fucking shot 15 times that don't die. He gets shot in the legs fucking 6 times. What's that mean?
You're going to have a shitty leg for the rest of your life.
How hard it is for you? We got to get somebody over there because we can't trust you to read the screen.
It's pretty tough.
Vito, did you know that he wasn't dead?
Yes.
Well, why wouldn't you tell us?
Correct me.
I just wanted to. I like the dramatics of it, so I wanted to let it come along.
He's leaving you to hang out to dry.
Yeah. I'm like a goddamn bedsheet right now.
What?
Drying out.
Pissed.
Pissed shit covered.
First of all, in your life, you've never had a fucking bed sheet.
Just a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, or straight couch cushion.
It's comfortable.
By the way, you know how you were talking about the brokered convention? I was watching Rush Limbaugh over the weekend, agreeing with you. And then that other guy that used to be on Fox, the crazy guy.
Beck?
Yeah, Clem Beck. Saying the same thing. And he is not a Trump man.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's a Cruz man. And he goes, but, he goes, I agree with Gail Bennington.
What?
If you have the majority of the votes, you can't discount those people. You know who wants to get it? Mitt Romney, who didn't run at all.
No, he
and his 6 wives want that ticket.
So it'll be like first lady, second lady, third lady.
Yeah.
All the way down.
Or 1A, 1B, 1C. I mean, it could be nicer.
Let's not rank them.
Yeah, it's just when you got here, really. I don't get how this still happened. The new Jordans have closed a Detroit mall. I don't understand. First of all, Jordan hasn't played for 15 years. Hasn't played well for fucking 20 years. Why are these dogs still so fucking popular?
So, all right, so I guess it's the new Air Jordan Retro 2s that were like bright pink. And this mall wasn't prepared for the freak out that happened.
Why? I would be prepared. And I've never sold sneakers in my life, but I've seen enough of these things to crash like this. Now, I guess you no longer have your ear to the streets. Let me go to my younger guys. You know, you're old and tattered and tired. Let me go to Joey Jojo and Vito. Joey Jojo, Rubio headquarters, and giving away a secret ballot. So he's always ready. He's always prepared. Why are the new Jordans a big fucking deal?
Because they're limited, and people, the sneakerheads out there, can only get them at this time unless they want the marked up prices that they'll find on eBay. So they have to stand in line now and pay lower prices, or if they want to resell them, all these sneakerheads need to be there at this time.
Now, are these white and black people or just black people?
White and black, yeah.
What percentages you think?
I'm going to go 60-40.
With who is 60?
With black people 60, white people 40.
Yeah.
And maybe sprinkle in a few Asian guys.
Oh, Asian guys dig this too.
Yeah,
huh?
they do, yeah.
Hispanics?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we at 60 and 40?
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot of people, predominantly
stop
white.
stealing from the guy that you just ran down.
Wait, these are the shoes that everyone's flipping about?
Yes, these.
Yeah. The Air Retro 2s.
That's a men's shoe?
It's a men's shoe, yeah.
That looks like a Barbie sneaker. That
Thank
looks
you. That's a very good
exactly
point.
like a Barbie sneaker. It's like from Workout Barbie.
Because here's the deal. You don't wear them. You put them in a shoebox and sell them. No, is anyone going to be walking down the street with these shoes on?
I can't imagine. Why would you wear why would you wear these shoes? B, it's like an investment, I guess. It's not even...
Joe, I would go to you, but you just repeat after Chris. Vito, do you ever wear these expensive shoes?
I wear Jordans every day, but when it comes to the sneaker collecting aspect, I wouldn't wear out the collectible sneakers. Those are strictly for reselling purposes.
Do you have any collectible sneakers?
I have one pair of collectible sneakers.
What are they?
They're the Space Jams.
And what
What the fuck?
what do you think they would go for right now?
They would probably go for about $500.
What?
Wow.
I'll tell you right now. Let me see them.
These are
Those
the
are
Space
it?
Jams.
They're replicas of the shoe.
Replicas.
Wore in Space
Replica.
Jam.
I want you to remember that. All right, I'm going to tell you right now. I'll offer you $38. Anybody here want to beat me? Anybody want to go 40?
40.
Why would you say that? Chris didn't say it first. Fucking catching this guy, you know?
Scumbag.
You know what? There was a picture of his dog over the weekend driving a truck and slammed it into something in Minnesota.
I can't believe you let your dog do that. Joe.
Everybody in Minnesota lets their dogs drive 18-wheelers.
Ugh, I couldn't live like that. Dogs on the road like that?
That's them. It's fucking, I think it's Go Dogs Go. Is that the name of that one? Vito, we put you over there for a fucking purpose. You got to get it. There's the picture of the dog. And just look how embarrassed the dog looks. Just staring out the window. Like this dog looks so humiliated that he didn't do a better job driving
He
the truck.
actually has his paw on the window and is leaning out as if to be like, is it bad? Is it real bad? Is everyone okay though?
He basically looks like he wants to say it's hard for a dog to drive.
This is my first time, to be honest with you.
I tell you, you have just set back dogs and driving about 100 years.
You're not going to trust any dogs after this.
Loser.
Wait a minute. Blue blockers with bifocals?
What?
First, get me a pair of those. I'm willing to trade Space Jam shoes for him straight up.
I like the sound of this barter.
Tim Knight says, Hicks got a story wrong. What a shock.
Yo, tonight you got gun control wrong earlier today.
Oh!
So, face.
Oh, this got real.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the realest it's ever been.
Lori found the pictures of the ugly store. Those things are kind of freaking me
They're
out now.
really, really scary. There was a story of I remember there was one where a spider laid eggs in the chick's face.
Yeah, and then exploded.
I think the one that really stuck with me though was, and this is a story that you hear all the time. I don't think it's any original story, but it's the one where someone's got the high beams flashing, but really the killer is behind her. So she thinks someone's following her and being creepy, but really he's in the back seat and they're flashing the high beams every time the killer tries to.
Yeah. Now I thought that was a street story.
No, some of them are.
They just stole those old fucking stories.
Some of them are.
With the hang thing in the top of the car and all that kind of, the hook there.
And the one that fucked me up was the spider one where they just lay eggs in your face and then it bursts and explodes. And the picture was just of a woman with her face cracked open with just baby spiders crawling all over her.
Some of them were really scary. Some of them weren't. They weren't all hits. I remember one was they thought that they got a dog, but it was really just a giant rat. I'm like, that's not very scary.
I had heard that. I had heard that. That they found a chihuahua in the Gulf of Mexico swimming around. They thought it fell off a fucking cruise ship, but it was a giant fucking rat, and they brought it home. The little girl was sleeping next to it or some shit. It always goes too far. People writing, it's tales from the crypt, not of the crypt. Good job checking Google. #Centaur. #Bennington.
Jeez.
Well, Vito is supposed to be on that shit, too. We've taken around Chris because he pounds his fingers. We took it away.
Too much.
But it would have taken seconds for our team to be on this. Instead, you're taking the full brunt of this, Chris, because people still think you're the fuck up.
They're throwing up out #Centaur like it's going to hurt my feelings, which it kind of does. But there was no reason to do that because Vito's computer boy now. I'm not.
I don't like how you call everyone boy by their title. It's very mean.
Well,
we don't call you producer boy.
That's because he doesn't produce. We could call him fuck up boy if you want to.
All right, that seems fair.
Yeah. Or thick tongue missed the story in your neighborhood boy. Then screamed out he was killed. He told us earlier. I saw them shut the casket on it. What a maroon.
What a maroon.
All right, a couple pictures up on the iBang. The Kim Kardashian naked selfie. She's the it girl of these days. She's the girl that everybody wants to be. She put this picture of herself up and then 2 bars. But that is some round body.
Yep. Those hips.
Now, did she Photoshop the belly?
I feel like she did.
She did. I don't know, because there are so many tricks and positions that people can teach you how to do to make your stomach look flat and pop your butt out. So I'm not sure that she Photoshopped it. I think it's, if you can see that she's kind of leaning in.
There's also the picture of the Little Mermaid that is supposedly too hot. This is Joe's discovery. And Joe, you think people think that she's too hot to be their Little Mermaid?
Well, yeah, she's in the Little Mermaid reboot coming out later this year. Her name's Rosie Mack. She's 19, and
Why would she be too hot?
What's wrong with that?
for a kids movie like Little Mermaid?
She looks like Miley.
Yeah, but why would you say that she's too hot for little kids to see? Hot people exist.
She's not going to be dressed like that.
But all these kids, I mean, she'll be still in a bikini top, and all these little kids
Well, what
seeing her
should
bounce
you?
around.
So you're saying no one with tits should play a mermaid? Apparently, my friend, you've never been to Wiki Wachi.
He clearly has not been to Wiki Wachi.
There's always a beautiful girl in a mermaid's thing sucking on that vine to get their oxygen out of.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a plain Jane as a Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid was supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, even in all the Disney movies, The Little Mermaid was attractive, and Peter Pan, they were always like kind of sexual creatures. They were always like flirtatious
because they're an invention of the sailors.
Right.
They say a sailor saw a manatee and thought it was a mermaid.
Right.
Now,
I wanted to have sex with it.
if you've ever seen a fucking manatee, you got to be drunk off your ass to think that that's a hot chick.
Right.
I mean, you got to be tripping.
It actually looks like some sort of a fish cow more than a person.
All right, so here's the question and I'm going to ask the boys this. No, you know what? I'm going to ask everyone this. Gail has every right. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
We live in a post-Hillary world. Would you rather have sex with a mermaid, right?
Okay.
Or a mermaid where the top head was a fish head and the bottom part was vagina and ass?
Okay.
Are you pondering that deep?
Really?
I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my answer.
Go ahead, Chris.
Give me fish head, vagina bottom.
No, you got to make out, too. You're making out with a fish at that point.
Can I see a fish mouth? Because I'm not changing.
You don't know what a fish looks like.
Come on. You need to see a
no
fish
teeth.
mouth.
Yeah, I'll make out with the fish. And then make love to the bottom human part.
That's
your thing. That's the...
Go for the experience.
Look, I saw for his shock, that's the first fish he's ever seen in his life. You didn't know what a fish looked like.
I thought it had teeth at first inside my head.
Some of them do. You edge? Joe.
Yeah, I gotta go the opposite way. I would make love to the top half and make out with the top half.
You actually
can't
have
cheat.
to the bottom too, which means you've got to jerk over her eggs that are like the bottom of the wind.
I guess I don't mind that.
You know?
I can jerk off on some eggs.
All right, so you go that way. Gail?
I think you have to go fish vagina. Going fish head is insane.
I like the fish head.
Give me the fish vagina.
I can't trust the fish vagina. I like a human vagina.
Yeah, we know that's the preference. We hope that that's the preference, of course.
You act
Me,
like...
I like a human vagina. That's just my fetish.
If we were playing Family Feud, and you said, what kind of vagina do you like? Human vagina is going to be up there. I'm going to say 98+%.
Yes, it's up there.
So, and also, we all disagree that girl is too hot to be Little Mermaid. And I'm surprised that to look over at Joe, he goes like, for kids?
Yeah.
A kid is just going to see a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her body is like...
Yeah, children are not
insane.
thinking like
They're not
that.
sexualizing her, Joe. It's for
They're
children.
going to find her
Plus-
to be pretty.
Yeah.
That I liked people when I was a little kid that had curves, and you know what I mean? Like little kids like pretty people.
Yes, they're people too.
She's a princess. She turns out to be a princess, right? This little mermaid
Yes.
chick.
She did turn out.
You don't need to explain the plot. It's not necessary to the conversation.
Why is
She started out as a princess.
Yes, she was an underwater princess, and then I think Eric might have been a prince, and then she was above ground.
She liked him.
Yeah.
She dug that dude, so she was like, let me give up everything
Yeah.
so I can
It's
be
a
with him.
terrible lesson.
It's the same lesson we teach little girls all the time.
Yeah.
Someday your prince will come. I'm going to write a children's story. It's called Someday Prince Will Come.
Oh, God.
Did you see him he went out to see the Warriors play the other night, the Golden State Warriors, and he walked out on the fucking floor, and he looks so young. He had the fro rocking. He look at him.
Look
This
at
is
how
amazing.
fucking great he looks.
Fucking amazing.
He is sex personified.
And yet he's smaller than Cat Williams.
I love it. Look at
Why is he carrying a cane? And he carries a cane, but he doesn't even touch the floor with it. It's just something for him to carry. You should put a purse on the bottom of it.
Those
Fucking
shades.
Prince. Now let me ask you this: is that his real hair, or has he got on a Prince wig?
No, he's picking it out. That's his hair.
Yeah, I feel like it's not perfect enough to be a wig, right?
Yeah.
You can see how it lays a little flatter on the top.
That's real hair.
He's supposed to be a prince or something.
Like,
Am I right about that?
He's with the mermaid, right?
Now, me, I like a human vagina.
Me and Prince have that in common.
Seriously, when you said that, and not stop yourself with stupidity.
Just trying to defend my point of banging fish head.
Stupid.
How's this for beauty? Britney Spears keeps dancing in her bikini.
She does not want us to forget that she exists. And I feel like I wish I could just say, we see you. You're here.
Yeah.
We still love you and adore you, Britney.
She still acts like a little girl. Here's what I'm thinking. That if you met Britney on the beach, you could hook up with her, and then later you're back at your house, fucking cops come in and bust you for dating and having sex with a crazy person, which I believe is against the law, right?
I think it should be. If it's not.
Like they can't give consent because they're crazy.
Yeah, but don't you think most of the girls that you've ever dated, at least at one point, would be busted for being crazy?
Yeah, probably.
Fuck yes.
I mean,
And
the
Chris
number of nutty fucking girls that you'll hook up with over a course of a lifetime.
They all got a little Britney in them.
No, it's disgusting.
What does that mean, Chris? Gross.
He compares the collectible penis. That's his thing. Now, she's got an amazing body.
She does. Yeah, she looks great.
But you can see that her head could just float off her shoulders right now.
Also, what is she doing? Why is this what she's doing with her time? Here's the way to make this unsexy for yourself. Imagine the conversation that had to happen beforehand. She's like, I'm gonna have you film, and then I'm gonna do this little dance, and just right by the rocks. Yeah, right here. No. Move it here because the sun's in the way. The conversation that had to go into, I'm going to try to look fun and free-spirited, even though this was not spontaneous.
All right, I'm going to make it as unsexy as I can for you.
Okay.
Watch as it rolls around again, okay? Make it as unsexy as I can. Because that's what I believe the sounds actually would be.
It is drowned out by this music.
Unmasked, Bonnie McFarlane. This is going to be fantastic. Go over to the iBang right now. It takes place down at the Village Underground, one of our favorite places in the world.
That's right. It's going to be Tuesday, March 15th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground. Go to the ibang.com to get free tickets. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for this.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Her book is amazing. She's great. But her writing, it's superb. It's really great. So we're going to have a great time. Anthony Bourdain, was behind this. He writes the foreword for it. To see how much Anthony Bourdain thinks about Bonnie is just amazing. So who knows? Maybe he'll be hanging down there that night.
Yeah.
He's certainly invited. All Unmasked, go over and check it out on the iBang. This is going to be a fun night, great date night. You can have drinks, you get something to eat, and it's me and Bonnie on stage together. You remember the last time we all got together for My Wife Hates Me? It was just amazing.
So much fun.
Looking forward to that. So let's break here. When we're back, Caroline's Comedy Club, March Madness This is the Bennington Show. Back to the Bennington Show, live on a Monday. And glad to have these two guys here before they stop talking to each other, Gail.
We've got Dan Perlman and Greg Stone in studio. Dan and Greg will be facing off for Caroline Comedy Club's March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information. You can follow them at GregStone_ and at Dan J. Perlman on Twitter.
Because comedians constantly need to be ranked and pitted against each other.
Two friends facing off.
Yeah.
Enemies. A dire enemy. As of 20 minutes ago.
Greg has been smack talking. When Caroline's posted who would be in the next round, of 32 comics, Greg was the only one to comment smack talking me from the get-go. No one else even weighed in. Everyone else is fine.
0 to 100, he's got zero chance.
Wow.
Zero chance. The only chance is if, I'll be honest, even if a meteor came, smashed into Earth, I die funnier than you die.
You know what? That's a show I want to see, though. I want to see a show where a meteor comes in.
You can't get that done in 2 minutes. We only have 2 minutes.
You get 2 minutes.
That's
it's
it?
a 2 minute round.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So do not waste your time saying, how's everyone doing?
Yeah.
How you guys doing tonight? All right.
Is everybody okay?
You guys watch TV?
I always like that. I always like when someone tries to just ask 8 questions before they get. You guys have cable? Yes. We all have cable.
That's
Those who don't will just be quiet.
Yeah, I wouldn't speak up if I didn't have cable.
Yeah, my friend was just running some set last night, and he introed something where he's like, "You guys smoke pot?" And then one girl was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so embarrassed." And then he was like, "Wait, stop! I got to get to the joke." I was like, "Then why'd you even ask? You're opening the door for it. Just go into the pot joke."
I love when you ask a crowd something and then someone answers for everyone. It's like, you guys smoke pot? And ladies are like, no, we do not smoke pot.
Right.
You are an asshole for bringing this up.
All from 3 different continents. None of us know each other.
Yeah.
As a collective, we all agree on this.
Dan, it sounds like your throat's a little bad too. You're doing a lot of sets.
My throat's a little bad. Yeah, I was talking with Vito about that. We were commiserating.
All right, that's smart. Smart. Come in like a wounded bird.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Lower expectations.
Yeah.
Ready for the meteor.
If you think I'm going to go slightly less intense on you, you have zero chance. Your arm is off. I spit in your dead arm.
Greg's confidence goes from 0 to 100 in a minute. He's in this mode right now where he could squash me like a bug, and then if he texts me and I don't text back within 5 minutes, he's like, "Fuck it, I should kill myself."
I'm so sorry. What did I say?
Forget it. Are you mad at me? You're probably mad at me, right?
You went you went off stage too with that. And that's. You know what I mean? You gave out the real Greg.
Yes, I did.
That's how you heard him.
Yeah, that is how you heard. But I'll tell you this, Greg, and you're going to watch it. Dan has 2 minutes of race material that is so strong. And I remember listening to it going, you're right, they are all like that. Yeah,
really
I
edgy
didn't think
stuff.
of it that way.
It's going to be tough getting down to 2. I really prefer to do all 20.
Right.
But
in the first minute, he changes the world. In the second minute, he changes it right back.
Well, to do 2 minutes, he's got to drop a lot of the mothers from his motherfuckers. You just start calling them fuckers.
That's what we were joking about, how to just such a stupid contest. We were joking about all right, so how about maybe when Greg goes up, he'll assemble a drum set, and then when I go up, I'll disassemble it and let them decide which one they're more impressed with.
Yeah.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone will be facing off for Caroline's Comedy Club's March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information.
Oh, this is I know who I'm rooting for now.
This is bullshit. I just saw that.
You know what, Greg? I'm going to ask you to leave right now.
It's Cuban cigars.
This is very, very nice. Now, did you play Cuba? How did you end up with these?
I didn't play Cuba. No, a relative went and then brought me that.
I bet a lot of your relatives end up in Cuba, don't they?
Love it.
Rubio.
Uncle Marco brought it back.
I was very impressed to see Marco Rubio won 70% of the Cuban vote. And he was explaining to people, it's Democratic and Republican down there and independent. They don't care who comes in and votes.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone can come in. Everyone can join.
But if I was in and I saw an O at the end of the name, if I was in Puerto Rico, I got to vote for this guy.
Definitely.
How can I not?
Well, it's that in Minnesota. Those are his two triumphs.
And both places, Joey Jojo, born in Puerto Rico, raised in Minnesota.
Yup, we roll out strong for Rubio.
You know what? I also understand that in Minnesota, there's a lot of Somalians there.
Yeah, tons of East Africans, Somalians, Ethiopians, Eritreans. They all migrated to Minneapolis.
Why? How did that happen?
He says migrated as if it was their idea. They got dropped off there after one of the many civil wars, right?
Yeah. It's particularly during the Ethiopian Civil War that an Eritrea branched off in 1992, became its own country as a result.
Wow, that's in depth. Now, the thing is, those people still have never experienced seasons. They grow up in Africa, one weather, hot. Then they go to Minnesota, one weather, cold. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not good for them. Especially, I have a lot of Ethiopian and East African friends.
I don't believe that.
There.
You just called him Ethiopian.
Yeah,
Ethiopian.
That's why I didn't believe it.
There's also a ton of
Tongue. Take your fucking time, you idiot.
a ton of Hmong people there as well, which is like Southeast Asian people. And there's a giant population in Minnesota as well.
It's weird. People don't realize that about Minnesota.
I would have never guessed. That's very strange.
I just thought it was Swedes.
Just seems like of all the places to settle. Why? Why?
Well, they each got their own lake. There's many lakes there, so each of them can get their own.
Big hockey. They love hockey there too in Southeast Asia.
I can't imagine. I would ask for a gun if I was moved to Minnesota. So I'd say thaw out a gun from me. So how's everything going with you, Greg? You doing okay? Is things happening?
Yeah, things are good. I had kidney stones. Beside that,
Did you?
It was great. Oh yeah, it was brutal.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a sad thing.
It is. It's a sad thing.
It kind of hurt, but it was good. I don't know why I brought that up.
No, they say it's the most pain. It's the only pain that men can compare to childbirth.
They say that.
Yeah.
I don't understand that because you get a baby when you're done with a baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get a kidney stone. I'm not putting that on the side. I'm not raising it. It's not going to sit next to me in a nursing home. You know.
See, that makes it even worse in a lot of. I mean, if you could put it in a bassinet, take it around, how tell people it's cute. I wonder how many, if we would even have babies if men had to have them. You know, I just can't imagine going through that. And Gail, don't take this the wrong way. For no reason.
There would just be a lot of street urchins, I think.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Men would just be having babies. And I'd be like,
I can't
just
deal with
had
them.
another baby.
Yeah.
I get nothing but abortions. I'd just be getting abortions constantly if I was able to be impregnated. Why would you go through the childbirth as a man?
Well, an abortion doesn't feel good either, dude. You got to understand that. Abortion hurts too.
You wouldn't give birth to one and at least see how it is?
No.
What if it's a great kid?
I don't know. It's going to be aborted.
He doesn't want
You
children.
have that little faith in your genes that you could create something great.
Give him one reason that he should trust in his genes.
Zero.
Yeah, I would seriously. If he didn't have a zombie, then everything is wrong about every movie I've ever seen. His father was a street criminal. He's basically a street criminal.
Street criminal with a better apartment.
I will say this. I'm not saying you're a criminal, but if there was something unlocked, you'd go into it. He would not take the time to break in, but if there was a door swinging back and forth, he'd go into that place.
He would never take the time to learn a skill.
Yeah.
So that's why he would never be a good thief.
What's the biggest crime you've ever committed?
I mean, I'd say moving things in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like sales. I'd say sales.
Sales. See, I would have had you assault against a woman.
Yeah. No. I thought for sure it was just going to be rape.
No, don't
It's rape.
Rape. You were going to go rape the rape.
Not rapist. Why do I have to yell that?
I think he's too lazy and drunk for rape, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I think if he's even with a woman, she has to mount him. That's how fucking lazy he is.
That's selfish, Fred.
It feels good.
Yeah. And you guys ever had any trouble with the law before?
I shoplifted a few times.
What'd you steal?
So, all right. So one summer, I lived next to a Whole Foods in Chicago, and I would go and just take all the free samples and stuff. I guess they're not free. It's a buffet, but it's free if you don't pay for it.
Oh.
Right. I forgot to explain.
He calls a buffet free samples.
So many samples.
Another person in history who's made that mistake.
It's free because I never paid.
So you would just go eat off the buffet.
Every lunch. Lunch was free.
And then you walk out.
And so there was a trash can in one of the aisles. So you go and you get whatever you want. You get chicken salad. I mean, they have all this stuff to sample. And so you fill it all up. And then there was a trash can in the aisle. So I would just go and casually eat it while I was pretending to look at, maybe I want Chex Mix or something.
Right.
And then I would go and throw it out. And then I'd buy like a vitamin water or something and walk out. So it'd be like a 1 hour purchase. But eventually one of them caught on and I got in trouble for that.
So you had to do all your eating there. So you
Yeah, totally. But what does it
over
matter?
a trash can.
It's just like at a dinner party. He's just standing around nibbling. How's everyone doing? Just refusing to move on from the line.
So you got some nice things for yourself there, huh?
Just sampling, really, right now, deciding what I want.
Taking advantage of that sale in chicken livers. That's an excellent idea.
Are you a Rubio man? Or myself?
Yeah. Now, I do know a lot of people who go to events so that they could eat for free. And I'm just going to say Jeffrey Gurian. But there's not... He eats primarily at parties. His regular dinner time is at... So if he's anywhere else and a check shows up, you can't believe it. But that keeps him eating deep fried things.
He doesn't own a plate. He just exclusively relies.
He's never had a full-size hot dog.
And jumping around.
Yeah, never had a full-size hot dog. Well, the amount of New Yorkers who don't use their kitchen or use it as a supply closet is amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
If you look at most New York kitchens, especially in the city, you see why it happens. Most of them are so teeny tiny. And then they don't even put anything in the fridge. They're like, why would I?
Yeah. I was just because I just moved to a different apartment, and when I was looking at a couple different spots, they were like, "This place has a huge kitchen." I was like, "I don't care about that. I would never go in there. I would rather the living room."
You don't live above the massage parlor anymore?
I just moved 2 days ago. I just moved 2 days ago.
That was one of my favorite scopes when you're like, I'm going to this massage parlor, and you walk down one floor.
one flight.
Just like,
one flight.
Oh my God.
It was this Asian massage parlor. And so they never locked the door to the apartment building, so any of you guys could just come right in and then come up to where I was on the third floor. And but the funniest thing was leaving in the morning, there would always be some guys coming in, or late at night, guys coming in who were clearly just coming in to get jerked off by the, Asian masseuse. And they had this look of such shame when they were walking in. But it's like, no, I know what you're doing. It's all good.
Yeah.
You're in your business suit, you loosened your tie, fucking get tugged. Who cares?
You would be so great out on the street calling people in.
Yeah. Get tugged. I don't care.
The great Barker.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone are in studio with us. Dan and Greg will be facing off for the Carolines Comedy Club March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information.
It's going to be 2 minutes of just a flurry. Just as many punchlines. Just take out all the setups.
I'll do all the setups. You do all the punchlines.
That'd be great.
Done.
Especially
because I think I'm going first.
Now,
So I'll do
the Asians. Yeah, I'll come out with all the punches.
it's like Jeopardy. Who doesn't like Jeopardy? Everyone.
Role reversal.
Now, does at the end of this, what would one win from Carolines?
If we win the whole thing,
You win Ugats.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You get fucking Ugats. Anthony got last year nothing. He won't tell you about it, but he won nothing.
Nothing.
They said something and he got nothing. I swear to God.
Yeah.
He wasn't ever mad about it, but a friend of mine, we're friends, we talk, but I was like, what did you end up getting? He goes, I got fucking Ugats. They gave me nothing.
But yeah, whatever. You get buzz or whatever. I mean, then you look at the people who've won, and they're all funny, but they get, they're all funny independent of whatever the competition is. So it doesn't so much.
Yeah, they were funny
matter.
before it started.
They were funny before. They're funny after.
It's great for the resume.
It's a great resume
It is.
booster.
It's going to mean something to some club in West Virginia who is looking for a weekend headline. headliner. We did very well in March Madness.
Put it in your awards and awards section.
But I can only perform in 2, 4, and 8 minute intervals. So you'll have to have commercials or something.
And we got.
Can you reuse material by the time you get to the 8 minutes?
You can, because it's different crowds.
Yeah.
But I think it's dirty to do that. I wouldn't do that.
I don't know.
You can do that?
Well, I don't know. I was just talking with Emma Willman about that because it's unclear what exactly the rules are, and she was saying that she might reuse stuff, or it's all unclear right now.
Now, when you said, did she answer you over a 2-hour rambling sentence? I'm a woman, and we adore her when she comes in.
She's wonderful.
But she has the least street smart of any comedians I've ever met in my life. You can tease her and prank her about anything in the world.
Yes. She's good-hearted. She's
sweet.
vulnerable,
She's sweet.
but yes, malleable to whatever you say.
She has a show with us now. Is it like once a month? Is it
Once a month,
Once
Check
a
Spot.
month, she does a show.
Yeah.
For Sirius Check Spot, where she brings on people who've never been on the radio before.
Oh, man.
Because that's what comedy needs. We want untrained people coming in here. Is there some microphone? Just stop it, people. No, you just speak on the other end of that. Thank you. But she was actually... The premise was, I think you can send jokes from your house, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just from open mic nights.
It's open submissions completely. So anyone who has some recorded material can send it to her.
It's great.
Oh, boy.
Well, with the amount of comedians that we have, I'm going to see if Donald Trump can put a 4-year stop on open mic nights just until we get this thing.
There's too many. There's way too many.
Yeah.
There's way too many people.
And new people are always starting, getting brand new dreams. You know, like their spirit isn't crushed. So it just keeps recycling.
And not enough are dying. Not enough comedians.
Well, the confusing part is somebody who went up once and Louis C.K. both call themselves as a comedian. So then it's up for the rest of us to cut through and see exactly what that means. Because everyone just says, I'm a comedian. That doesn't answer the question of where you are in terms of, are you ready or not?
Right.
Because nothing takes as long as comedy to get started.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. And it's a sad thing where you see that when people are going to one of their first open mics and they bring all their friends and they're like videotaping it, even though it's only for like 8 other comics, and they're like going to put it, what are you going to do with that video?
Yeah.
You're going to be so embarrassed.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to have to delete that right away. There's nothing. You're going to get a new profile picture and then you're going to move on to other things.
See, I think actual funny people try not to tell anybody that they're doing comedy for a long time.
I didn't let anyone I knew come for the first year and a half.
Really?
No, nobody could see.
I told everyone immediately, burned all my friends, was the worst, screamed on stage about nothing. My dad pulled me aside and said, what you're talking about should never be talked about. Please stop doing this. Yeah, all those mistakes.
What were you talking about? Do you remember what you were talking about up front?
The first joke I remember doing was about jerking off into a sock in front of the cross. And my dad thinking I'm jerking off to Jesus, which I thought was funny in my head. My dad is watching me saying, how do you think that this is a thing that you can do? But I was screaming so loud that people were laughing at the fact that I was screaming. And no one thought, I don't think people even heard what I was talking about. Everyone was embarrassed. I then gave that tape to the doctor I worked with. And he said, I'd love to see so. He goes, I want to see your comedy. I gave him that, and I gave him Brian Regan's DVD. And he goes, I like Brian Regan a little bit. I was like, yeah. I know.
Well,
God.
See, I would immediately have booked you into a wind tunnel. I'm like this. I mean, he's not good for every room, but there's certain rooms he should be working. Actually, I like the bit. Any Catholic boy would know that thing if you have a cross in your room and you're doing something that is a sin, but it's something that you can't stop yourself from doing. The premise
Trust me, the premise was not there. What I was doing was nothing. It was bad. I was just saying any word I could say. I brought a set list. If you saw a set list, you'd be like, what is he filming an hour special? Like, it was everything I ever thought was funny. I went over the light by 15 minutes. They cut the lights on me. They cut the mic. They turned it was bad.
What did you think? You think like, oh, this is just how it is. I'm killing so much.
I told you this story. My dad did comedy before me.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, he goes, the greatest thing about comedy is that you never know what's going to happen. So when they cut the mic on me, I thought, oh, anything could happen. The microphone is broken. So I move the microphone out of the way. Now I'm screaming at the crowd. They turn the music on. I then start dancing. I'm now dancing across the stage. Bob DeBono comes up, pulls me off stage. I still get embarrassed. I can't believe I'm talking about this now. I still get like this, just the cringe, the heat.
You should be.
Yes.
You lost your mind, but you must have a look at me gene that, your talent had to catch up to. You had that Shirley Temple confidence as a youngster.
That's the total opposite of most people go up and they're like, oh, it'll be easy, and they get up there and they're like, oh, I'm petrified.
Right.
That's how I was. That's how a lot of people were. But then you got up there just complete, like Joel Osteen, just preacher, just shrieking whatever nonsense.
Joel Osteen is great. I always like the open micer who puts his hands over his head because he's not ready for the spotlight. Just talks about the light. Like, I can't believe how intense this is.
There's a heat coming off of it.
Really
You're like,
bright.
do you realize a million people have been on the stage before you? You've done zero research into Oh, God! Is this as bad for you people as this for me?
You are the 12th comic of the night.
I always think it's amazing, too, when people play theaters. Those lights are so bright that, Carlin went out and did, these tours and never once saw his audience. He was just doing it into this white light.
I don't understand that. I don't see the fun in that. Like, I like to look at someone,
right,
connect with them, see what they're getting into, and then react off of that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. It's not like a one-man show to me. It is a conversation that you just don't get to talk, in my mind.
It's no different than if you went in and did it to a room by yourself that people could hear you.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, I'm getting some feedback on the other side of that wall.
But it's a weird balance because I think there's something to the idea of maybe sometimes people feel more comfortable laughing in darkness. Like when if they feel like the spotlight is on them, then they might feel like, oh, I don't know if I could laugh at that. But if it's a more communal thing, that's almost like they're watching a movie or some play or something that they don't have to feel like they're being focused on, especially if it's in a big theater setting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done theater. We're doing 2 minutes of Caroline's tomorrow. What the fuck do I know?
I did a theater once. It was at the Hunter. Oh, yeah, I've done a couple weird things, but this was the Hunter College Theater or some weird thing. 3 people there. Blasting lights, no one there. I walk out, think that there's a billion people there. Then we get off and you go, oh, there was no one here. There was just no one. It was sat like 1,000, 2,000. It was like some crazy something, but just blinding lights to nobody. It's like, we could have just did this in the back. This in the couch.
Now, Greg, have you ever had a highlight to your career or just nightmare after nightmare?
I was hoping today would be the highlight.
Tomorrow he's going to crush me like a meteor.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to change it up. Be like, I'm going to just be real confident and beat Perlman. And then don't cry. I'm probably going to cry on stage. That'll probably happen. The first guy I went against, and he got an applause break in his opening sentence.
Yeah.
And he was such a sweet kid. I almost teared up. The emotion of it was like,
You
I'm probably going to cry.
You also chimed in during his set.
Yeah, he was doing great.
You picked up the mic and you were like, he won. He has 1 minute. And you cut off his 1 minute.
But he did great. He was doing so great. He was a good kid.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone are in studio with us. Dan and Greg are facing off for the Carolines Comedy Club March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information. And Greg, also, where can people check out your podcast, The Rad Dudecast?
iTunes, The Rad Dudecast in the iTunes. Thanks.
Who are you doing that with?
Brendan Ayer and Anthony DeVito. You do with us?
Where are you guys doing it?
In my room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. We were going to go. There's I don't know. No, it's not good. So we just kind of do it for us. Like, it's just a bunch of crazy. If ever I get famous or any of us gets famous and they go back and listen to this, it's over for all of our careers. Yeah. It's not for people to listen to, I don't think. This is the first time I've ever promoted it on anything.
But that is going to be true of everyone now because everything is recorded throughout your life and it's kept that way.
Yeah.
So you'll get, none of you guys are ever going to get the Tonight Show because of that, There's just going to be too much shit that you said.
It's either that or everyone's going to have so much shit that the bar is just going to be, they're going to have to lower the bar for what's acceptable. So we're all going to have horrible things out there. So they're just going to be like, all right, well, whatever. So it's all neutralized,
I'm pretty sure, like, Trump's wife has shown her tits somewhere, you know what I mean? Because she
Yesterday.
was a model,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that'll be the breakthrough of let's not judge each other,
Right.
you know? Except on whether you're a Nazi or not.
But it happened with drugs that, you know, there was a time where a politician saying that they had smoked weed would have been
Right,
a big
yeah.
deal. And then Obama smoked weed and said he did cocaine. And
He said he fucking did rails.
Really?
Which is, yeah. And
Oh,
that
man.
got dropped quickly. Well, you saw the picture of him in the 70s. He looked like a guy that you would get high with.
I mean, he's hanging out in Hawaii, yeah. But that's what I think.
What is Hawaii all cocaine? I don't.
No, but he's
No,
just
but
relaxing. It's whatever. It's free.
Oh, I see.
You know, everyone's fucking going nuts. And so I think that about dick pics too. So like a guy will have to resign now if a politician, if he has
Right.
a dick pic released. But like in 20 years, everyone's going to have one out there.
Yeah.
So just be like, all right, whatever.
But
Who has the best one?
I still think the circumstances, like Wiener had to step down because he sent an unwanted dick pic. And by the
Yes.
way, every dick pic is unwanted. There's no girl going, please send me a dick pic.
She's going to love
Nobody
this.
wants
She
it.
begs
Yeah.
for it. She begs for it.
Not that but what do you do in return then? Like, it's like, I sent your boobs. All right, here's a meme, a funny, inspiring meme. Like, I don't know what to send. I don't send either. I'm in a relationship a long time, but I don't know what I would do, and that's just thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just like
Thanks.
maybe a thumbs up. Like, I love it.
Check the mail. I got a $2 bill coming to you. Chris.
I mean, if we look around here, I'm going to guess Joey's, there's a picture of his dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's more than one in many
Yeah.
filters.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the cloud.
Is
yeah.
there that? Did you ever send out a dick pic?
Oh yeah. I'm not. I mean, I have Snapchat too, which I've used for dick pics.
So you're sending that to strange girls you don't know?
Girls I do know, and I want to elevate the relationship to dick pic status.
Now, do you?
This is woman, this is so confusing to me.
Yeah.
Like, that is your subtle way to be like, I want to take this to the next
Yeah.
level.
Here's
Let
my
me
dick.
present you with my dick.
Yes, exactly. So there are dick pics, I'm sure, in the cloud somewhere of my dick.
How do you top that? What's the level after that?
His asshole. He sends a close up of his asshole. He's got his leg up in the air.
Only a few girls reach that high level. You gotta. That's above
special.
meeting his mom.
And then
So you do send out pictures of your dick.
So you have a cloud full of dicks.
I have sent out pictures of my dick in the past. I
long
haven't done
ago?
it recently. Okay, last one probably 6 months ago. Yeah.
So you were a child then.
I was
You're just a kid.
a little boy.
That's
So
the
while
kid.
we knew you and you were on the air, you sent out a picture of your dick.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
To a listener.
Now, to a listener,
Tonight.
along with the prize that they were supposed to.
We're very sorry, Go Pack Joe.
Party time, go. Send me your dick. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Now, what? Now, did she say, "Oh my God, your penis is so gorgeous"?
Yes. Well, she said, "Oh, nice dick pic," or like, "Oh, hey, there's your dick." You know?
I like the idea of saying nice dick pic because they don't really believe that that's, you know, it's a good picture of it. Who knows what it's really like?
Oh, hey, that's your dick. Is like if you see a deer on the side of the road, like pointing it out to your kid.
Dead deer, laying next to the road.
Why did I kind of feel like during this conversation, Chris was just going to move the monitor and be like, and here it is. Here's Joe's dick pic.
Chris, stop. And then I'll take a 7.5 ounce can of Pepsi that kind of looks like the 12-ounce cans and put it right next to it. So she's like, "Oh, wow, look at that."
For scale?
For scale.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you dress it up at all? Do you put like a
I haven't,
little
but
wig
I've,
on it or
I've
something?
seriously
He's
thought
got
about
Groucho glasses. Yeah.
So you're going after the girth queens. That's your
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Girls that like thickness. Did you hear that there's this girthers movement that they want to see Trump's dick since he said, believe me, it's very,
It's
very
huge.
good.
Huge.
This is coming back to him. He was the face of the birther movement with
Right.
Obama. So now the girthers are saying that they want the like long form dick pic or whatever. They want
I
the
think you
proof.
should have to put it on a scale. He just drops his dick on the scale.
There it is.
There it is. It's 1.5 pounds.
I think he would do it. I don't think he'd have
Yeah, I'm
that,
fairly
any
sure
problem.
he would do it.
There's been nothing to be like, oh, I don't know if he'd go there. I don't know if he'd have any reservations about doing that.
But
Why
I got
wouldn't
news
he?
for you. You can't count your old nuts. That's fucking shit.
That does not add to length.
Yeah.
It's got to be out there. He's had to have sent it to somebody already. Someone
He
has to
seems
have
like
seen
the
it.
Well, Cruz is actually saying that that the media is waiting to slam him after he becomes the Republican nominee, that they got, stories about girls in the 80s, because he ran around quite a bit in the 80s.
He's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It does, but none of him has mattered. Like, they could throw any story out there, and he's just going to shrug. He'd be like, yeah, I did that. I hate Muslims. Black people steal. And he's still filling arenas. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was in a foursome with 3 other guys and some South Beach whore. See, I think women would have a problem with that, voting for a guy who said, "Yeah, me and my buddy pounded this chick together." I still think that they worry about that.
I think nothing consensual could hurt him. It would have to be really dark.
But then he'd just come back with the Bill Clinton stuff.
But here's the thing. You don't say if he was part of a train. Like him and 7 rich guys nailed a fucking 19-year-old for money.
Like the ass-to-ass kind of situation.
Because he belongs to those kind of clubs.
Right, at a sexy party.
Yeah.
At a really creepy sexy party.
He'd have my vote then. I'm like, any guy that can pull this off can certainly negotiate with the Chinese.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone are in studio with us. Dan and Greg will be facing off for the Carolines Comedy Club March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information.
Really, really 2 funny guys. Chris, if you had to guess who's going to win this contest, it's a 2-minute contest. Let's face it. Yeah. If it's 30 minutes, it's a whole different deal. Yeah. This is a 2-minute contest. Who has the sprint?
If I were the betting man that I am, with that confidence, Greg Stone's going to put down Dan P.
Joe.
I was going to say Dan Perlman, having known him for a while, but that overconfidence is, I think, what's going to carry him.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's tricky. You don't want that confidence to get in your head.
You're right.
Could be Dan. He could take it for that reason.
Here's the problem, though. In 2 minutes, right, the crowd has to warm up to your personality.
Yeah.
No one meets Dan for half an hour and likes them. It takes a while before you say to yourself, you know what, Dan, I was wrong about you.
6 to 7 months.
Yeah, we all do it. We all get to that point where, you know what? You're right. You're a good guy.
It's Stockholm Syndrome.
I mean, the amount of people who probably say to you, when I first met you, I thought you were a creep.
Off the charts. 95% of people who I love.
You are forgetting about my chances of imploding in the first 10 seconds, though. I will just ruin it for myself.
Why are you undoing the this is the
this is it.
1 to
That's
100.
Is it anxiety? Do you have an anxiety problem?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What makes you anxious?
Because I think I'm dialed in. I get it. I get what's happening. I know what the reality is, and people just don't accept that.
We all have anxiety.
Seconds.
I have anxiety, and yours a different way. Yeah.
But I love you, man.
But if everyone's going to die, why would you care how you did in the contest? That should almost make it easier.
That's true.
Like the big picture is this: your body is aging, and there's nothing you do about it, and there's all kinds of danger in the world. Why not try to enjoy this moment?
I mean, I'm having a hard time getting past that first sentence.
Yeah, I mean, right now you're on the 36th floor, and 2 floors below us, they have explosives that they're experimenting with.
Wait, what? There's a lab. There's a lab.
Yeah, there is just 2 floors below us. They work on missiles, and a lot of those guys go out for big lunches, and they get drugged.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone are here with us. Dan and Greg will be facing off for the Carolines Comedy Club March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information.
I'm going to go and yell out, can't they both win?
That'd be sweet.
Does the audience decide, or is there judges?
I think it's the audience, right?
I think it's this time it's all audience reaction.
Guys that come in from Iowa get to decide.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Sweden.
If he comes out with like my pussy's so big joke, he's got it. He's got it in the bag.
If I talk about my pussy,
bit.
So big.
I love that bit.
If I love pussy, yeah. straight out of Def Jam.
Yo, my pussy's so big. Dog.
I had dog at the
end. Dog. It's a crowd pleaser.
The latest of all the Cat Williams, and you've stayed focused on Cat Williams, right?
Yeah, I love Cat Williams.
The one that you sent in today, is it up?
Yeah, it's up right.
All right, so every day Cat Williams has either done something frightening or crazy, on and off. This one is interesting because he starts with an ISIS mask over his face for no apparent reason. No apparent reason at all. So I'll play a little bit of it, Chris.
This is Cat Williams. It is the night after the Beanie Siegel show in Philadelphia, after the Cat Williams event at the Leopold Center. The word on the street is that after Beanie Siegel's show, the reason Cat Williams is no longer doing comedy is that after Beanie Siegel's show, Cat Williams got his ass whooped. I'm gonna tell you what really happened.
Yeah, it is. It's Cat.
I heard the same rumors you heard. I heard Cat Williams was at a club.
Didn't take any Gatorade
on Beanie Siegel's birthday.
And look, he
After
puts the
his
gat
show.
right out in front of him. He's
Oh my God.
he's strapped and ready to go.
At the Leopold Center. I heard after a show at the Leopold, they beat Cat Williams' ass at a club, and then they robbed him. Now, Cat Williams at his show at the Leopold Center said to the fans, "It's getting to the point right now where you can't believe what you see or believe what you hear. So now, just in case you can't believe what you see or what you hear, then I'm gonna ask you, since you're watching this video, to verify that I'm smoking a cigarette.
I can't believe what I see or hear.
To verify that I'm sitting here in a
I
hat
do
and a
verify
hoodie.
you smoking a cigarette.
To verify that I started off talking with a mask on my face.
Yeah, they're tough on him about
Just
that
in
too.
case
When
my
we'll start.
face looked not like the face of Cat Williams, and maybe it was all bloodied and bruised. But I done talked to you now with this face, and you done looked in my eyes,
All right, so that's why he put the mask on.
Right.
and you done
Yeah.
seen that clearly ain't no nigga pop me in my motherfucking mouth, cause I'm still talking as reckless as I was talking at this show the prior evening. Now let's get to the important parts.
Oh, yes.
If you did rob that nigga, I'm gonna suggest to you that you missed maybe a $75,000, $85,000 rolling. If you did rob me, I will let you know that nigga walked in the club with 2 chains and walked out that bitch with 2 chains. Now, I ain't gonna say
Having a hard time getting it off.
Yeah, well, it's a
Take
cigarette.
it. Yeah.
I ain't gonna say that all I took was W's in that club tonight. I ain't gonna say Satan ain't land a few L's on a nigga. But what I will say is if what you did in Philadelphia tonight was beat the dog shit out of Cat Williams. Hold on. Let me take these earrings out. As Jay-Z said, what's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Could you please remind me? That's 25,000 of it. Here's the other 50. It's hard to get out because it's expensive. Not like
Yeah.
the cheap ass earrings that niggas
Well,
I
this-
knocked the fuck out tonight. Every nigga I hit lost a piece of jewelry because it was fake. Mine was real, so it stayed put no matter what happened in there. You underdig me now?
It was the slowest striptease I've ever
It's the
seen.
best.
And when he just starts taking off each, it was like the world's weirdest Mr. Rogers episode
Yeah.
toward the end.
He should be doing that 24 hours. That should be the longest scope ever.
Dude,
I would never tune out.
Any Cat Williams Periscope is better than everybody else's Comedy Central special. It's always so fucking
He
funny.
crushes Netflix.
Yeah, he does. And he'll just sit there with the gun sitting in front of him.
I walked out with 2 chains.
I walked in with 2 chains. I walked out with 2 chains. Now let me start to take off my earrings.
Jay Farrow's Cat Williams was really good in that.
Fucking amazing. You know, Jay Farrow the other night, and I got to figure out why they're not. He's like one of the best impressionists that's ever lived.
Yeah.
So good.
And yet this place didn't blow up for him. They should have been going fucking crazy watching
He
this.
was killing it.
That was crazy.
That Chris Rock one,
Yeah.
was just. I mean, he did that here once, and it was just like it's unreal how good he is.
Yeah.
The delivery, everything with the fingers, it's all like so spot on.
Well, that's the thing is that he really gets into it. It's not just the voice.
Right.
But he gets like little ticks, or he has like something that.
With Murphy, like 2 fingers, and with Hannibal, like the head up and the like finger pointing and stuff. It was all
Yeah, I
crazy
wanted to
spot
really
on.
be able to pull that off if you've got to have the physicality down.
Yeah.
Did you see the Anthony Atamanuik Trump?
No.
Anthony Atamanuik does this Donald Trump that he is Donald Trump. It is by far better. It's him and
James Adomian.
Oh, yeah. They're touring with that.
Yeah. It's I think he's a guy who like the voice is good, but he has the impression, the tics and stuff. It's killer.
Well, get ready because every comic in America is going to be doing Trump.
Okay? The minute I become president, we'll start the Anchor Baby program, where we start bronzing Mexican immigrants and putting them on naval ships so that they're put to use finally. I'm just saying, bronze them and make it a real thing. No, it's no longer an offensive metaphor.
Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Bernie, you look like you're running for president of the Muppet Show. That's fair. That's valid. People have said that I look like I was forcibly held down in a cotton candy machine.
Those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
I think Fusion just picked them up, too, to do this as a show.
They have to.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, they got to do that before Bernie,
Get Bernie, Well, you know what?
out.
Somebody was just telling me yesterday, Bernie has the same amount of delegates as Hillary, but it's the super delegates.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck do we live that there could be a super delegate?
I don't understand
It's
it.
crazy.
I try to understand how superdelegates are justified. I don't really get
Listen,
it.
They can go either way if they want. They just go. They could choose. Flip flop.
And they
could
count
do
for
it, and they
more.
count for more. It's like you're playing some kind of weird video game where you run into one of the characters is glowing and has special powers.
It's not fair.
Because voting wise, like they've been pretty even, and she's gotten a few more states. But if you look at the count, just everybody's endorsed her, so it's just like he doesn't have a shot.
But here's the thing about her. She gets every state down south. She's not going to win a state down south.
No.
It's not going to happen in the general election.
No.
And they're like, oh my God, a Jew. Not who can I vote against? So he doesn't come close down south.
Right.
But in the north, the states that, sway that way, he's doing pretty phenomenal. A lot better than I ever thought he was going to do.
Right. And those will be the states that you pick up anyway in the
Mm-hmm.
general election.
Yeah, my Facebook. I get everything from Facebook. Good. And, my Facebook's like he has no chance, and then the next thing is like he's got all the chance.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what's true. Does he have a chance? Does he not have a chance? I mean, tell me he does. He doesn't.
The super delegates is the problem. That's going to keep him from having enough delegates because she had those before the election started.
Yes, those were promised to her. That was already a lie.
Does not seem like a republic when we do stuff like that.
No.
Both sides of this election are madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
And that's why they couldn't, because no party elite, they couldn't settle on who they wanted to be the establishment person, so they didn't have a Hillary equivalent. So they got all these guys fractured with Cruz and Jeb when he was there and Rubio and everything. So now it's all divided. So that's why Trump is
They
just...
despise Cruz as much as they hate Trump. The elite also hates Cruz. It's fucking crazy times that we're living in. Insane. I think we're going to get the civil war that we've always wanted.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this.
And when that happens, you're going to see me running around looking through specific people I want to get. Going to be like with the jailhouse riot.
Yeah.
Just fucking get even with a UPS guy.
Yep.
I'm dropping that UPS guy down.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone are in studio, and they'll be facing off for Caroline's Comedy Club's March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information, and check out Greg Stone on the Rad Dude Cast, available on iTunes.
Speaking of rad dudes, look who's on the phone right now, the one and only Rich Voss. Rich Voss, how are you, buddy?
How's it going?
Good.
I'm telling you, I'd rather watch Cat Williams, and I hate to backtrack, but it's so funny. like now he apologized to Kevin Hart, and he has some new people he's going after. Have you seen that one?
No, there's so many of them, and they come so fast, and they're in between assault charges and all kinds of crazy shit. He's in the news so much.
What I love about him, he has no filter.
None.
And I don't know. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you're rich, if you have enough money in life, I guess you can have no filter because you're not scared to burn bridges. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, obviously he could be much larger if the mainstream would, feel comfortable with him. But at the same time, his core audience never goes away. So he's free to go out and do these things. But he also doesn't talk any differently off stage than he does on stage to 10,000 people.
Right.
So,
that's
hilarious.
Obviously just his real personality, who he really is. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I only met him once years ago, but I mean, listen, I don't know him like I know, Kevin Hart or Chris Rock or any of those guys. But it's just funny hearing that. And when I watched that Jay Farrow impression, he did rock. He did them all so perfectly. I'm going, you could close your eyes and think you were talking to these people.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like we said, the day that he came in here and did those things, it felt like he channeled those people. Like it was amazingly strong. But I don't know. There's something that he's not connecting with the audience because he should be the biggest star in America right now.
Right, or they're not utilizing him the way that they should be.
SNL is not using him properly or whatever it is. I can't figure it out.
I can't answer that. I don't know how many movies. I don't know. All I know is he does that stuff great. These guys that are competing for March Madness, what do they win?
They win. Lewis runs out and gives each of them a small hors d'oeuvre. They're told that they can order from the left side of the menu. It's a really wonderful night.
That's great. Well, look, good luck to both of them. Bonnie's book is out. You're better than me. I'll see you. I guess I'm going to come watch you guys next Tuesday.
It's going to be amazing. And, Rich, please read Bonnie's book because it's fantastic. Really.
I'm almost halfway through it. I'm telling you.
I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
The Bonnie McFarlane Unmasked is Tuesday, March 15th at 8 p.m. at the Village Underground. So you can go to theibang.com for free tickets.
Oh, it's going to be a great night.
I know. I'm excited for it.
I love that stage. I just love the Village Underground, just being there alone. But being on stage with Bonnie is going to be great. Rich is stopping by. There's going to be other people stopping by. Her book is amazing, particularly the brutality of starting comedy in the great white north and working in front of fishermen and miners, and the real people don't realize how long it takes a comedian to get to somewhat to a glamorous life. The brutality to start it off for any comic is strong, but those people who hadn't even heard of comedy before, nor were they likely to get any references whatsoever. It's pretty amazing. It's a great, great book. She's a fantastic writer. So you can get tickets for that. Let's play a little bit from Saturday Night Live, though, because we've been talking about Jay Farrow, and we all felt like in love with his impressions. Well, right off the bat, this is what always gets to me. He's first to do guys. Like the first time I saw him do Denzel blew me away because you weren't used to seeing Denzel. But this is him basically running through the comedy all-stars.
First, Cat got up, right? And Cat was like,
now, first you gotta understand something, boo-boo. This right here, this is war. There can only be one munchkin on top, you ragged son of a bitch.
But that's when Kevin got up, and Kev was like,
first of all, bow. Ping, pang, bow. Here's your problem. Tell you what your problem is. First of all, you got a perm. Only black man get away with a perm. It's Prince. And he's Prince. You're not Prince. Got the same height as Prince. I do too, but I smile. Oh my God.
And that's when Dave Chappelle stand.
Wait, hold on. Dave Chappelle was there too?
I said it was all of us, Colin. So Chappelle's like,
hold on, baby. Everybody just calm down, son. Just calm down. We black. Oh. We need to stick together. Trust me, son. Hollywood is expecting us to fail, baby. Let's just calm down, go to Africa for a few years, till everything cools off. Oh, Africa? Dave, who want to go to Africa? Africans don't even want to go to Africa, and they live there.
So that's Chris Rock.
Yeah, man, yeah. So then Eddie gets up and he's like, wait, 1 second. Everybody just relax, okay? Everybody just relax. Everybody just cool out, all right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get ready to bowl, okay? Tracy Morgan, it's your turn to bowl. Pick up the ball. It's time for the bowl, oh yes. Tracy Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, and Tracy gets up. Listen, I'll bowl, Eddie. I'll bowl, you know. I'll bowl right now. You know, Jackie Gleason is my biological father.
And then Chris Tucker was like, you know, man, then hurry up and bowl, man. Damn. You holding up the game, man. Damn, man. And then Hannibal Buress goes, okay, I just don't understand why everybody has to yell in excitement over a bowling match in a living room. This is weird on so many levels. And then Bernie Mac got up and said, next time one of you some of my bitches have a party at Eddie Murphy's house and don't invite the Mac man, I'm gonna bust one of your some of my bitches' head to the right knee.
Hold on, Bernie Mac?
Listen, man, you got me. Honestly, Colin, I made it all up. Okay. That's what I do. Jay Farrer, everyone.
That was great.
Hannibal.
Yes, Hannibal's phenomenal.
And Hannibal's awesome.
I haven't heard anyone do a Hannibal before, but that was just awesome. So so good.
Every one of those things now, the Chris Tucker,
yeah,
is
the
amazing.
Chappelle is really
crazy
eerie.
Good. But then the Chris Rock is also
next level.
You could call fucking places and yell at an ex-wife doing that voice and get
that
away
was
with
the
it.
one when he did it in here. I had chills. I was like, oh my God, I feel like he really just transformed. He did it.
And even the joke, it's like that sounds like a joke he would do.
Right, yeah.
After they live there, yeah.
If I could do that impression that good, I would call restaurants and be like, Chris Rock, this is Chris Rock, I'm coming over, and then I just get reservations for myself as that person. Just be that person.
I'm going to meet.
Yeah,
make sure that you let him directly in.
Yeah.
Dan Perlman and Greg Stone will be facing off at the Carolines Comedy Club March Madness competition tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information.
Did you guys pick up on the fact that Rich Voss thought that maybe you shouldn't be doing this contest without there being money at the end of it?
There was some
I think he gave a slight hint.
There might be. There might be something. I don't know. I didn't really think about it though.
Yeah, there might be like $20 or something.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I also love that I have met Rich maybe 70 times, and he just still referred to us as, I don't know who those two guys are. I've been in his car. It's fine. It's all right.
It's like, I don't know whether if you ever saw I think it's called the Red One or the something Red One. You ever see that World War II movie?
No.
Guys drive me crazy. But they would never learn guys' names until they were there for a long time because you'd only feel bad when they got killed, right? The Big Red One, is that the name of it?
I think it's the Big Red One. I'm looking it up.
At least you look it up. Vito refuses, though.
The Big Red One, 1980.
Yeah. I want everyone to go home and rent that movie today. You're going to love it.
Has anyone forgotten your name before bringing you up, like on stage? Because Artie Fuqua did that with me once.
You could have just said that you wanted to tell that story.
No, I was going to lobbing it up.
That's fine.
That's fair.
Oh, snap!
20 seconds. No, I'm saying. No,
wait,
tell
did
me
you say Greg Stone? I thought it was Josh Stone.
No, go ahead. No, Artie was like a few years ago at Stand Up New York, and he's like the best host. He got everyone so hyped up. He's like, "All right, you guys ready for your next comic? You guys ready for the next comic?" And then he looks over, standing me at the side. He's like, "Come here." As we go on stage, like sold out, like Stand Up New York. And what's your name? And everybody's like, "All right, you guys ready?" And then I got my name wrong. He's like, "Dan Purba."
Nan Lerloff. That's my name. I told you the story. One time I had to bring up Steve Hofstetter on some show, and I just blanked his name and just went, ladies and gentlemen, keep it going for Mr. Hoffenheimer, and called him Mr. Hoffenheimer.
See, I should have just gone right to my story because it was better.
Yeah, you're right.
Like a meteor.
I saw Artie Fuqua do that Big J's, what's your
fucking deal?
Yeah, that he shot for TV. And Artie is like announcer, co-host, something. And I watched how many times he had to go through the cold opening to say who's going to be there. And it was like, after the show, they go, okay, now we're going to go back and do the cold opening. And we just sat there, and everyone's like, I want to smoke. Please. Godfrey Gilbert!
Artie's so great, though.
He's
just
fantastic.
The best.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have to say that, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We got it. But we kid. All we know is Voss couldn't pick either one of you out of a lineup, despite meeting you 70 times.
Nor should he.
That's all part of it. All right, guys, it was good to see. I got Judah Freelander coming in next. I'll say this. If there's a way that both of you could lose, I think we'd all feel better. You know what I mean?
Just throw this for all
being
of
in this
us.
contest, we all lost.
Yeah, and whoever wins, just remember I picked it, and I'm with you all the way. We'll be right back. It's Bennington. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. Come out and join us for Unmasked with Bonnie. And now Rich says he's going to be there as well. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be a social event of the season.
Oh, good. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Bonnie McFarlane Unmasked, Tuesday, March 15th, 8 p.m. at the Village Underground. And you can go to theibang.com to find out how to get free tickets.
Speaking of social events of the season, I understand that you met one of your heroes today.
That's right. This morning, I met RuPaul.
Wow.
And I nearly shit. It was so
that would have
crazy.
been really embarrassing
I
if
know.
you would have shit. No one understands how much Gail loves the drag world, least of all me. But these are your favorite entertainers in the world.
Yes.
And Michelle would want to invite you to come in.
Yeah, she hooked it up, so I got to meet RuPaul. RuPaul complimented my lipstick, by the way, which was very exciting for
Did you
me.
get a pic?
I did get a pic.
Did you put it up on your...
I didn't.
Yeah.
Should I put it up?
Well, it's up to you. It's your call.
Perhaps I will.
It's your memory.
Yeah.
Memories. By the way, now that Dan's not here, is anybody rooting for him over Greg Stone?
No, I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, me too.
I think Greg Stone's going to
But you know what? Greg Stone never brings Cuban cigars, so you don't want them all Dan now.
That's fair.
Two great kids.
So great.
Should be a fun contest tonight. Judah's running in a little trouble coming in.
Yeah, he's running a little late.
No worries. We will keep the light on, or if he can't make it, we'll do it another day. You know why? We love the champion. We love Judah.
We love the world champ.
Did I just sound like Trump there? We love him.
We love him.
Judah.
He's great.
He's great. He's with us.
He's very nice to me.
I met him in Flavor Flav. Flavor was working as a Utah weatherman. That's up on the iBank. I understand that we've got even new Cat Williams of the fight that he had. That's up on the iBank now as well, because the Cat Williams stuff just doesn't stop. It just keeps giving and giving and giving. This is the fight that he had with, I was going to say Bernie Siegel, but that's the healer, so that possibly couldn't be it.
It's Philly rapper Beanie Siegel.
Beanie.
Yeah, Beanie. You don't need to worry about it. It's all up there, though. I guess that's up on the iBang. I can't tell.
Right now, I'm only seeing the original rant we played.
Okay. Anyway, I'm making mistakes all over the place today. Why? It's a Monday, even though Gail and I were out for a lovely meal last night. And we decided this. I'm going to ask you about it, Chris, and you about it, Joe.
Okay.
When you're listening to Dream Pop in certain circumstances, don't you think it's a lot better than it actually is? Like, we had a Dream Pop night in this Brooklyn
Yes.
restaurant.
Now, I've always kind of liked Dream Pop, But it's one of those things, for the most part, I don't think I seek out, but when it's on, I'm into it.
But only in the right situations.
Yes. Although, like, there's some exceptions to the rule. Like, I'll listen to Beach House, which I will put in a dream pop category. I will listen to Beach House at any time. But for the most part, it is kind of, like, very specific to the mood you're in.
I think it has very little to do with the mood and whether or not beautiful women are cutting your hair. You will end up paying $125 for a haircut because the dream pop makes you feel like your life is better than it is.
Right.
Where else do they play a lot of dream pop? Because you're going to hear it in an upscale restaurant.
A salon is definite. I feel like certain kinds of bars, but the biggest one would be like clothing stores.
Okay.
Like, there's a
That's
clothing
the deal.
store vibe.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm like.
Upscale clothing store.
Exactly. Upscale clothing store, you're going to hear dream pop. And then, like, if you're buying, like, cheap jeans, you're getting, like, that horrible Euro pop.
Right.
Which I only know because of, like, trying on jeans. Like, these jeans are inexpensive. I don't like being in the store.
Or you could go buy Wranglers and hear the old Bonanza theme. I play a little dream pop so people know exactly what we're talking about here. And if you're paying too much for your food or haircut or jeans, this works. We were having this great meal, this tasting menu where we didn't know what was coming back, and I'm like, I love this fucking song. And then I'm like, would I ever listen to this song again? No.
Maybe we need a dream pop week just to explore it, see what we find.
I think that we wouldn't be able to maybe if we're in South Beach and we're doing the show only at night from a balcony of some place where we're with swimsuit model / hookers, you know, that makes you feel like I'm in a dream pop. Like my life is kind of weirdly wonderful. But you can't drive down the street listening to this.
No, you will fall asleep at the whale. It will happen.
Now, do these bands set out to make dream pop, you think, or they just happen to fall into that category?
I think in most cases they fall into the category. Like, I think that probably people make an album and then someone says, you know what this is? Dream pop. And they're like, oh, I didn't know what this was. I'm glad I had a name for this sound I'm doing.
So dream pop is that spacey kind of thing. It's like if Radiohead made worse music with a female singer.
Right.
Know?
That's very helpful. I think even
they all grew up on Moby. Every dream popper fucking their first album they owned was Play.
Yes.
Right? So Moby is like the high end of that, although I wouldn't call him dream pop. But that vibe that he set.
Like, it's synthier now, but I think it also, I think the Cranberries probably had an influence on that because it has that similar vibe.
And yet they're not, weird European enough for it, you know?
Right.
They're like real instruments.
Oh, this is my favorite Moby song, too.
Now, would you call this dream pop?
I wouldn't have before, but now that I think of
it's kind of grandfathered in, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you would put it in the same category.
But I've been to a lot of nice restaurants where they'll start playing Moby while you're going I don't care what the bill is.
And it's also great if you're changing sets for the next scene in your play.
One of my favorite nights of my life. One of the most favorite nights of my life. But you can see that this is dream poppy, even though I think he came first.
I guess Warpaint is probably dream poppy. There's a couple good bands who do it, but for the most part, they kind of flow in and out. I don't really know who it is.
Yeah, you can't play enough salons to get over. And seriously, when there's a girl shampooing your hair to dream pop, you feel like your life is better than it is. Again, picture that you went in to a salon where you're being offered champagne or mimosa first. You smoke a joint before you get there, so when this stuff is playing and a girl is shampooing your hair, you feel good.
Who is this?
Hey, Jack. Jack, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Bennington.
Yeah.
Hey, my only introduction to Dream Pop had been by way of like Mazzy Star.
Mazzy Star's the best.
So, I mean, that's genuinely good shit there.
Yeah, Mazzy Star has to be. I feel like especially a lot of the young chicks who are doing this, they were big Mazzy Star fans when they're young.
Right.
My wife and I danced to Fade Into You on our wedding day, so I owed a special place.
Oh, nice.
Love this song.
That's what you're playing here, Chris?
Yeah.
This song's the best.
This is certainly high end of what we're talking about.
Hold on, I'm going to bust up crying here, y'all.
Okay, let yourself go, dude.
Yeah, feel it.
She left you, you know?
It's a dream.
She hates you. I'd murder the bitch.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks. I'm having a moment. I got to go.
Now, the singing this always reminds me of Cowboy Junkies. Hey, Kane in Texas.
Hey, man. You were saying that, it puts you to sleep, but I have a running playlist that's like specifically just like washed out and beach house. It gets me real in the zone.
I would have laid down. Dan, what's up?
Hey, buddies. Hey, I'm not sure who the first Dream Pop band was, but I remember back in the 90s, Enigma. I think that's
Showing
like the
your
first
age,
time
dude.
I can...
Showing your age. Those things sold big. Hey, he's here, Chris.
Mr. Judah Freelander is here. His new book, If the Rain Drops Tonight, is available in stores and on Amazon. And he's headlining a show on Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to comedyseller.com for tickets.
It's the best around. Judah Freelander will take you down. Yeah.
The champ is here, Judah Freelander in studio. How are you, my friend?
Incredible.
These are always good days for us, Gail.
Yeah,
We're always so
doing
excited.
incredible.
Those are the best of days.
Well,
Judah Freelander is headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to comedyseller.com for tickets, and Judah's new stand-up album, feature-length stand-up performance, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. Follow him on Twitter at Judah World Champ, and also Sweetwater 420 Fest, April 23rd and 24th.
Oh,
wait, hold on a second. I didn't know this stuff. I got to write this down.
Get it down.
Yeah,
you know,
I got it. I want to say quickly. Yeah, I was supposed to be here at 2:00.
Right.
And it's after 2:00.
Well, we know that when Nancy Reagan passed away, you were going to get calls from CNN, Fox, MSNBC.
I did get a lot of calls, but the bigger issue is I was actually doing something else.
What's that?
And I achieved it. And this is why I'm late. I solved racism.
Whoa!
It's over.
Judah! It's done?
Yeah, it's all done. And even if you're someone that doesn't, so I just want to say for all the people out there, you can't use that as an excuse for being late anymore. Because it's now solved.
It's over.
I solved it. It's over. So come up with a new excuse.
You did what Martin Luther King couldn't. You did what
I'm not gonna. It's different circumstances. I'm not gonna equate myself with him. He was a great man.
But because it was the 60s and you've been able to build upon a lot of his work and other people.
Without him, exactly. Well said.
But you did pass what he was able to pull off in his lifetime. Now, the difference is, of course, you can't be shot and killed, and he was.
Well, also, I did it in about 15 minutes. I think it was 17 minutes.
Damn. 17. All right, so rounding down, 15 minutes.
You have all these candidates running for president trying to do all these great things for America, and I literally just solved racism in 17 minutes. So, feel it. Can you feel any right now?
Yeah, I don't feel it at all. I felt a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
I felt it it's almost like that Ghostbusters movie where it starts to build up,
Yep.
Yeah.
And as long as white people know racism is over, that's all that counts.
They need to. They need to know that. The funny thing is race never bothered them so much. So they never, it always felt like black people took it harder than white people did.
Right.
The thing is, when you're at the top of the pyramid, surprising how much easier it is to deal with.
I like when anytime somebody is offended by something and then someone will say, well, it doesn't offend me. Yeah. It's like when it doesn't apply to you is probably why.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of things that don't offend me personally.
I've never minded an Asian joke. You know why?
Doesn't bug me.
Doesn't bug me. But you're doing great. You're doing
Thank
all
you.
these things, Judah, again and again and again. You achieve.
You know, that's what winners do. You know, you dig deep and you remember your country.
Right.
And then it's victory. That's how it works.
Do you have a horse in this race? Is there anybody that you're looking
No,
at?
I still think I'm going to win it. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't even entered yet, but I still think I'm going to win it.
I'll tell you, we could use somebody like you who brings us all together because we're being pulled apart now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
There's never more distance.
Yeah,
I don't think you know, when I hear good ideas from the candidates, I know they got it from me. And,
Yeah.
and then I hear a lot of bad ideas, and I know that means they have not listened to me. So I'm against all the candidates, all of them, because they're either stealing good ideas from me or coming up with horrible ideas.
I would love to see a Judah party, a party on the outside.
Well, my new party is the sex party.
The sex party, okay?
Yeah. Who would be against that?
No, nobody.
Is there anyone? That's called reaching across the table.
It is.
I think there's Republicans and Democrats who are both disappointed in their parties who would like to join the sex party.
And it's not just reaching across the table, it's reaching under the table.
Yeah, it's reaching around. Really.
Yes.
What else it is? It's throwing the table out the fucking window.
True.
That's what else it is.
We don't need this. We don't need
Why didn't we ever have a table in the first place?
Yeah.
That's the part that made me confused.
Yeah, just start fucking on the floor. Get rid of the table.
Yeah.
Always reaching across, man. Get that shit out of
Why?
here.
If
Let's
we
go.
should- if
We need
we-
room. This is the sex party.
Yeah, if
This
we
table's clogging our space.
Yeah, we'll have more space to, pound. That's the beauty of it. And you take the message out in a way that's for everybody. You know?
Yep. That's what winners do.
Yeah. Winners got to win, I guess. You know?
Judah Friedlander is in studio with us. He's headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets.
Yeah.
And Judah's new stand-up album, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. And also Sweetwater 420 Fest, April 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, that's Atlanta. And then I'm doing some other big outdoor music festival in Orlando.
Really?
In May. Yeah, it's a bunch of, I think, 80s and 90s metal bands, and they have a comedy stage, so I'll be there. And then, in the meantime, I'm doing shows in the city pretty much every night. They're top secrets. You got to find them out yourself.
Yeah, you got to find them out. But, headlining the Underground, that's one of my favorite rooms.
Village Underground's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's owned by the Comedy Cellar, in case people don't know.
Yeah.
It's great.
And you get tickets to them. But when you walk into that room, it reminds you of what you thought show business was going to look like.
Yeah.
When you first heard about comedy, you're like, oh, this is how it is.
Yeah. Instead of just like banquet tables.
Yeah.
Again with the tables. It's like, there's a reason, I'm a big wrestling fan, and there's a reason they were always breaking tables.
Yeah.
It's because they're against tables. And that's actually part of my platform is just getting rid of tables.
At least the Spanish announce table. That one was always in trouble.
Here's the weird deal. Hulk Hogan, as we speak about this,
he's got a big lawsuit with Gawker, right?
Yeah. Gawker had put out the video of him having consensual sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's now ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, did you see it take place? Did you watch the sex tape?
No, I did not.
I think any woman that has sex with Hulk Hogan should get some kind of a medal because that shows bravery.
First of all, she went the full time. You know what I mean?
And she, survived the leg drop, which was great.
I like that he's kind of dressed for court, but he's also dressed for Hogan. He's got on a fashionable kind of a black do-rag
He's
there.
a little bit more of his Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, that was
not the Hulkamania phase. Not the best choice because he was a heel when that was
exactly.
going on,
He should have brought the bright yellow out.
Yeah,
we were there the night that he turned.
Yeah,
and it was,
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh, that's good.
It was pure pandemonium. I'd never seen this thing where literally everything that wasn't tied down was flying at the ring.
Where
at the same
where
time.
was that?
It was down, I believe, in either Orlando or Daytona. One of the
that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the big pay-per-view
That's a major event.
Yeah.
I was actually maybe one of the biggest wrestling events I was at Macho Man and Elizabeth's wedding.
Wow, that's a great one.
I can remember that.
Yeah,
was
that was
yesterday,
SummerSlam 90 or 91. I think it was 91. And when any times I get into talking weddings with someone, I'd be like, yeah, I went to a big wedding. And they're like, where was it? I'm like, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, we were all choked up.
Yep, and sold out.
Sold out. It was just a gorgeous affair. And when Gail was little, I knew Randy and Liz very well.
Oh, really?
So that
wow.
was her, like, idols.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
There were people in the audience, like, legit crying.
Yeah.
And then there were other people, who were obviously in on it and were just loving it. And they were like, no, Macho, don't do it. You still got time. Come on, Macho, don't do it. He's looking around whether he should say yes or not, or whether he should say I do.
Yeah, because first of all, that guy took him 5 minutes to decide whether he wanted to shake hands or not.
Yeah.
He would always look around like, should I?
Well, that's one of the great things I think is lost a little bit in wrestling.
Yeah.
And that is, before you do your finishing move, you gotta look to the crowd and get the, like, is this the right time to do it?
Yeah.
You don't just go into the figure four. You gotta look left, you gotta look right, and then you do it. You can't just do it. You gotta get the audience's approval,
And the long storylines that they would have in those days. Like, you remember when Hogan and Mach had to fall out. Full year of a bump, looking at each other.
The mega powers.
Yeah. And then finally, okay, we are still friends.
Yep.
You'd be thinking, I think there's trouble heading this way.
Yep.
Now it just happens, somebody does something on a Sunday night, there's a heel turn on a Monday. It just happens
Remember when
so
they
fast.
had Saturday night's main event?
Yeah.
And it would preempt Saturday Night Live. It would it would be like the week that Saturday Night Live was off, they would do wrestling in that slot. And to me, that was amazing.
It was amazing, and that's because the rock and wrestling got so big together, and then was just quickly pulled apart because they found out, like, if you're Cyndi Lauper, you don't want people to boo you under any circumstance.
That's a good point. I thought of that.
Like, it never works in any other field besides wrestling. Oh yeah, I'm getting heat from the audience.
Judah Friedlander is in studio with us. He's headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to comedycellar.com for tickets. Judah's new stand-up album, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. And the Sweetwater 420 Festival in Atlanta, April 23rd and 24th. And then the Moonstone Music Festival in Orlando, April 30th through May 1st.
Oh, okay. It's in April.
It's in April, yeah. Okay, got
Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Didn't even know. And then June 10th, I'm in Baltimore doing some new theater space there.
Sweet.
That should be cool. And, I forget where all I'm going, but it's on my website.
You can go to judahfriedlander.com for all additional dates.
Yep. And the album will also be, it's either going to be a 60-minute, I'm making it myself, the stand-up special. So it's either going to be a 60-minute, special or feature-length 90-minute, film, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it becomes.
Yeah.
Whatever that happens.
Yeah.
In wrestling all the time, who's your favorite heel? Who was the heel's heel? Because I think to be a great heel, you've never been a good guy. You know what I mean? Like, you were you couldn't possibly go both ways.
Yeah. That's a great philosophy, first of all. And I got to think about that, man. I don't know.
How about for you, Chris? You ever have one?
I always loved Vader. I love Vader was
Vader
never
was,
good, right? He was just a giant angry man.
And also went the hard way much of the time. No one wanted to wrestle them because he didn't know how to pull any punches at all, and he just hurt human beings over and over. What about for you, Gail? Because
I've always loved Flair, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he just killed it. But actually, Rick Rude always was one of my
Rude never was a face. Never was a face.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah, and he was great, and he never broke character for a second.
Yeah.
I had him on a radio show in Florida, and he would
Really?
just, yeah,
Oh,
and he would just be like, "Yeah, I'm here to turn this place around. Your listeners are fat, and they're ugly," and then people would go, "You're the one that's a jerk," It would always get
I just love it.
homophobic with him, even though he was there. That somebody was like when he did I think he put Elizabeth's face on his crotch.
He did. He always had like these air brushed like trunks, and usually he would have either his opponent's face on his crotch or their wife or girlfriend.
It's just great.
And he was like straight out of Chippendales.
Yeah.
His physique, you know, it was a phenomenal physique.
Excellent mustache.
But also very light, so guys could. He was one of those guys that when you threw him, could get up 10 feet in the air,
right?
Because he didn't weigh that much. He had like a swimmer's body.
He was
you
a
know?
cruiserweight.
Yeah, cruiserweight. All right, Joey Jojo, what about for you? You come out of Minnesota.
Well, I guess Brock Lesnar would be the guy.
Brock Lesnar, yeah.
Yeah, he's also a Minneapolis dude, too. So I always had a kinship to it.
Yeah, I don't think Brock will ever be anything but a heel.
He doesn't have the face.
No.
To be a face.
Yeah, he literally doesn't. Yeah. What, you know who I mean, he was a good guy, too, but I loved when he was a bad guy, especially when he first came out, was Kurt Angle. I thought
unbelievably funny.
You know, Mr.
Really funny.
Preachy with the
Mr.
three
Perfect.
eyes. Yeah.
I remember when they would do those stuff when he came out. That I think what happened is they tried to make him a face.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It just didn't work at all.
It's like when The Rock first started.
Yeah.
They tried to make him a good guy, and everyone hated him. They started chanting Rocky sucks, and they started selling T-shirts Rocky sucks. And then at some point, he came up with the people's eyebrow, the people's elbow, and then, you know, the rest is history, you know.
There is a great thing that you can learn from wrestling, that when you embrace the heat that's coming at you, you now own that power.
Yeah.
You know?
Have a sense of humor, basically.
Right.
Now, you said Mr. Perfect. He was always a heel, right?
Mr. Perfect?
Yeah.
Well, he did everything perfectly.
Right. Even slap his gum.
Yeah.
Totally
that was a
perfectly.
great move.
He spit his gum and slap it.
But do you remember when they would do like video montages of him? He's just like getting a strike in bowling, hitting the ball.
They did one where he threw the football to himself. He was the quarterback and the wide receiver. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, he was a great wrestler, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was a great athlete.
Great athletic skills.
And I think he might have one of my favorite, intro music. I think that.
That song was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun,
It was
dun,
it was like from a Gladiator movie or something.
Dun, 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 dun. That was him, right? That one was the best.
Let's go over here to Danny in New York. Danny.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I think the greatest heel of all time is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Really great.
That's a solid one.
His music, how he would pay everybody, his motto, everybody has a price, how he would abuse Virgil constantly, even though that's his bodyguard.
There was also a great bit that he did where he would said that he would give a kid $20 if he dribble. All you got to do is dribble a ball 5 times, and when he got to 4, he just slapped the ball away, and everyone was like, "You ruined it!"
That is hilarious. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that was a great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was a great bit because he was all. The weird thing about him is he was like a born again Christian in real life.
He's put out a lot of books.
Yeah. But in the ring, he was nothing but pure hateful evil.
And he was never in great shape either.
No, I love those guys.
He was never.
Yeah.
Yet he can go toe to toe with a wrestler with phenomenal physique who's 6 inches taller, and that just shows you the power of money. You know?
Dusty Rhodes was great that way too because he was morbidly obese.
Yeah, he was a legend.
And it didn't stop him. And then remember, Dusty also had that weird thing on his side. Like he had that big, it was either like a beauty mark or a bruise somewhere.
Yeah, he had like a big birthmark. You're
Yeah.
right, on his side.
I mean, he had every reason in the world to wear a shirt. And he
was awesome.
Yeah,
he was
totally beloved in Florida. I mean,
beloved everywhere. I mean, one of the greats. I mean, just great interview, great passion, great actor. It's like to really pull it off, and especially I think being a bad guy, you really have to be a good actor. Even in the movies, even if you look at the movies, like what makes a great adventure film or action film, you have to have a great villain, and it's so rarely done that there's an actual someone on screen who's intimidating you or who you're afraid of. It hardly ever happens.
It's what made Die Hard great because you're like, this guy is smarter than Bruce Willis.
Yeah, great
Bruce Willis
villain.
is screwed.
Yeah,
right.
and very smug.
Yeah.
Very smug. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. But yeah, in movies, you really don't see it. Like that's why I never really liked a lot of the, what were those? The Hobbit movies. The Lord of the Rings movies. I remember, like, cause most of the bad guys in it were just so easily killed. They were just like, you just shoot one arrow and they make they look scary, but they didn't, they need to be like invincible. Or seemingly invincible.
Yeah, it was like the first movie that scared us all when we were kids was Wizard of Oz, because she was amazing. And then she's with flying monkeys. Forget about it.
Yeah.
There's
if you look at that movie,
I
mean, I think it's 1939.
1939.
Look at the effects. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's still really cool looking. You know.
Yeah, the scene alone where where the flying monkeys take up with her and her feet.
Yeah, it's
are
crazy.
Kicking. I literally remember jumping up and jumping on the couch between my parents. This was only like 5 years
Scariest film I ever saw was Sex and the City 2. It literally terrified me.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at this. I mean, that's great effects. I mean,
that looks crazy.
That's 1939.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
if
also
you saw
the
that-
artistry is great.
Yeah.
In The Wizard of Oz. You know,
it's just beautiful.
It's not just.
Well, because it was somewhere still between, figuring out what cinema was, and then set design from theater. So a lot of it just looked like big.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
But it looks crazy. But like the moment in this movie that I remember as a kid was that when she appears in the crystal ball, like she's trying to like talk to Annie M.
First she sees her aunt,
yes.
right? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the witch is in the crystal ball. And
Yeah.
I rewatched that movie later as an adult, and in my mind it was so much faster and scarier, but you kind of like see her slowly like you could tell she's showing up in the ball. It's not as dramatic as I remembered it, but it was like beyond horrifying.
But you know what even scared me is when she saw the crystal ball and you saw that her aunt is just saying, Dorothy, Dorothy.
Yeah.
You just wonder, like, she's right there.
I'm right here. Annie M.
You see, I watched the whole movie from the perspective of the lollipop gang. To me, Dorothy was the scariest one of all. You know, they're just trying to entertain her, sing some songs, and she ditches them for these other freaks.
I don't know why she ever left that town. I mean, it seemed like they had everything.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
I mean, she left that to go to Kansas, to go back to Kansas.
Right.
I mean, not to shit on Kansas, but
Yeah.
she was in Oz. That's pretty fucking cool. And all she wanted to do was go back to Kansas,
Not only
to a
that,
farm.
When she got back, there was still a death sentence hanging over Toto's head. That never got worked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
realize
she just went back to the same situation she was in before.
Yeah, stay with the Munchkins. Hang with the Lullaby League.
Yeah, I love those guys.
It's a better vibe.
Out of the top four, who was your favorite, though, like, in her gang? Did you like Eyes, Tin Man?
I've always been a fan of the Tin Man. He's always been my favorite.
I'd go for Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, because he was first and, to me, the only decent dancer that they had. I thought he was a
No,
his
that was
dance
Ray Bolger, I believe.
the
Yeah, he
great
was
Ray
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a Fred Astaire kind of guy.
Yeah, he was an amazing dancer. And really, I don't think the Lion brought a lot to the whole pack.
I think we should go ahead right now and call him the weak link of the film.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's supposed to
was.
be the comic relief, but
Right.
was he?
And he actually ended up becoming the king at the end. It seemed like comparing that to having an education or feelings, he went straight money and power for his request. I want to be king of everyone.
Well, I guess that means kings have courage.
Yeah, I guess so.
None of them are without courage.
Yeah. Chris, who was your favorite out of all the...
It was a Scarecrow for me.
Scarecrow.
It was a Scarecrow for me because I hate birds.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
No reason that you shouldn't, my friend.
Why? What's the point?
I like the tinfoil. I mean, the Tin Man, but I thought he was more of a tinfoil character.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You bring nothing,
Sorry.
dude. That's so sad. I mean, did you want to have a joke that you said?
No, but
I
it was
think,
actually
I
my
think you
favorite.
totally misinterpreted the whole film. This movie what happened before tinfoil was invented. Tinfoil was invented because of this film.
I didn't know that.
And then when we also had no tinfoil while you were alive. So the tinfoil was in between this film and then using aluminum foil.
Oh.
We no longer had tinfoil by the time you were born.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the government stepped in.
Yeah, they're like, this is shitty.
Yeah, they banned it,
This isn't
actually.
very
They
good.
banned it.
I had no idea about any of this.
Judah Friedlander is in studio with us. Judah is headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. Judah's new stand-up album and feature-length stand-up performance, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. Go to JudahFriedlander.com for all additional dates.
Actually, can we pull up on YouTube the fight? I think it was from 1938, right before they filmed it. The Tin Man versus the Aluminum Man. I think that's on there. Tinfoil. Okay.
Beverly Hillbillies, the old guy on that, the guy who played the grandfather, he also did my show in Florida. He was supposed to be the Tin Man and actually had shot scenes, but they painted him with this lead-based paint, and he almost died. He was painted in this, his skin couldn't breathe anymore.
Oh my God. I think they also set the Wicked Witch on fire, too.
Yeah, they just didn't have any...
Her dress, the back of her dress.
They were literally off the chain in those days.
50,000 people died during that time.
They said it was worse than the Vietnam War.
Yeah. A lot of the Lollipop Gang, they weren't even little people. They were actually just parts that they taped together. Sad. But it's a great film. It
is, and that's what you have to do at the end of the day, get to a great film.
Yeah.
No matter how many people die, did you have the movie you wanted?
I mean, when you see a film, at the end, you want to see a statement that says, a lot of animals and humans were not only harmed, but accidentally killed during the filming of this film.
Right.
You want to get your money's worth.
I would like to even see that before the film starts, so I could look around. Did that guy make it?
Yeah.
You know?
That should be a rating system for that.
I don't know whether that guy made it out or not, but now I want to see the film.
I mean, these films cost a lot of money. I think the audience deserves that.
Yeah.
See that there's some dedication involved.
I would love for that to happen again, but, I don't know. We have law, PC, as Donald Trump always complains about.
Yeah.
They're too PC out there. I'm not.
He doesn't have time for it.
No, he doesn't.
He's time for a lot of other things. That's why he doesn't have time for PC.
I'm just wondering, though, doesn't it take just as much time to be PC as not PC? Is it really like a time difference between the two?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's staggering the amount of time it takes to be PC. People
thinking of other words.
It's actually why J.D. Salinger never wrote another novel. He was just so busy being PC, and it just took up so much time. Imagine the amount of work he could have written.
Well, Salinger said he goes, look, I can't think of another word for Dago. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. And that's why he was a recluse. He was afraid of offending anybody, so he just stayed in.
Sure.
The ultimate PC lifestyle.
Yeah. I guess we're all going to be J.D. Salingers of the future.
And that's why Donald Trump has written great books.
Oh.
Because he's not PC. He's written a lot of good books.
I went to Trump University on a football scholarship. And
for me, it was there at DeVry, and it was a tough choice. And what do you do, But, yeah, Trump University, that's true. People talk about their football team, but, their basketball team was really overlooked.
Sure.
And,
of course it was.
I mean, Trump was their head coach. He looks like a basketball coach.
He does. He really does. He looks
got
like
the Pat Riley kind of vibe going on.
I mean, his team would be the Fighting Trumps.
Maybe instead of having him be president, we should just have him coach the Olympic basketball team.
Oh, I love it. I would love to have him there.
I think he'd be just
because anybody could coach that team and win. Look at the players we have.
Imagine if he coached a team and they didn't win.
He'd kill himself. That
would be the end.
I don't like losers. I don't like people that are captured. I like people that aren't captured. That was the greatest thing, that you can't be a hero if you're a POW.
No, here's
he prefers his warriors not to be captured.
Well, the best thing think about how long ago that was, and when that happened,
I know.
Like, ooh, that's gonna sink him.
He's over.
Like, that's it, and that was so long ago, and not even close to the most offensive thing he said, and he's still doing just fine.
Yeah. Well, he also represents what a lot of people want. People just want rich and fame, but they want it. Like, I finally figured out why the Kardashians are popular. Because people always say they don't do anything, they have no talent. And I'm like, that's why they're popular. Like
Yeah.
people used to want to be a movie star. They'd want to be an athlete, which meant you had to work for it. But now many people, they don't. They really want to be the prince or the princess. So everything, it's like winning the lottery and everything just happens to them.
Right.
And the Kardashians, if you look at them, like that's kind of what they are. They're kind of just born into it. They don't do anything, yet they're famous. And that's what people want. And even Trump, to an extent, he was born rich. He's a big TV star. He's famous. And there's something about that people, they want that. They want the prize, but they don't want to work for the prize.
Yeah.
So I think there's some idolization there. Sometimes I just get so deep.
No, I love it, man. No, but it is true that at a certain point, we do like the Kardashians more than we do if somebody wrote a great screenplay or started a movie. And this Kim Kardashian picture that went up today is another reason that you can see the talent that she has. And there she is. She's naked, but she's put bars over her nipples and vagina.
She's very talented.
That's talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's a kind of Photoshop talent people just take for granted these days.
Yeah.
And it's there.
It's got to be Photoshop because you can't have a waist that small and hips that wide.
Well, I also heard people were complaining because they said they can tell from her hair color that this was not taken the other day, and she's making it seem like it was, and really she's got a post baby body still, and they're calling shenanigans on it because her
this
hair
is an
color
older
was-
picture.
So
This
she
is-
kind of posted on Instagram, which is supposed to be instant.
Yeah, but without saying it's a throwback Thursday.
Right.
Yeah, she should have said,
Right.
this is back before I had the two babies.
Right.
All right, I got it. Got to be
Yeah.
honest on Instagram.
I'm not into it. I'm not into her.
No.
I just see a lot. I just see plastic surgery when I see at her. Like the butt, the boobs, the face.
Yeah.
That's what I see. All
But-
plastic surgery.
But maybe that's to get us ready for cyborgs because that's the direction we're heading in.
I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
Her and her sisters are like really the first, they're like the first model.
We're sliding into that quickly. Luckily, I'll be dead for it, but it's coming for some of you younger people. I'll make sure I'm dead for it. I'll make sure the first time, like, my neighbors are getting robots, you'll just hear a bang coming out of my apartment. Send your robot over. I think I'm dead. I don't want to be here for the massacre when they start to tear us apart.
Oh yeah, and it'll be no time too.
Oh no, it happens fast.
I think the robot takeover will.
I remember
be
how
quick.
quickly said I wouldn't carry a phone around with me all day. Now I panic if my phone's
Since I'm gonna become the next president, I'm gonna take this issue up.
Good.
There's not one candidate out there talking about robots taking over, artificial intelligence.
Good.
It's obviously a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm going to solve all the issues.
I think by the time we have, I just saw a thing the other day that said 75% of Americans are afraid of driverless cars, and I'm like, I can't even believe this has come up, But even now, if you look at your phone, it's a computer. When we're on that elevator, it's a computer. It decides where we're going. We're no longer pushing buttons. They decide.
Everything's going to have a computer. They call it the Internet of Things. That's
They
what
are.
name for
It already is pretty
Yeah.
much. Even if you look at the cars now, especially if you look at new cars and the way they're designing them, they're actually already designing them towards being a driverless car.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a car from the 80s, look at a car from today, sit in the driver's seat and just check the visibility. The cars now, there's forget about trying to look out the back window. You can't even do it. The back window on cars, even if it's an SUV, is about 6 inches wide and 3 inches tall. So they're already gearing towards, and then if you want to back up your car, you got the TV screen that shows you everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then even a lot of the new cars now, if a car's near you and you're about to change lane, your car shakes to let you know there's a car nearby. So it's really they're just using technology so that you don't have to do anything. And so I think they're real close to the driverless cars.
Yeah,
I think in 10 years they'll probably have one.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
it'll be popular.
Yeah, and then a car will not even be. You're not gonna think of it as a car anymore. You're in something that moves.
Yeah, and you'll
but
be on
it's-
your phone.
Yeah, you're going to be on your phone.
Finally, we can text and drive.
Or Or would you
That's
just?
what America's all about.
It would be really great just to get in the back seat, and have no one in the front seat.
No, it would
just be riding
limming
in the back.
around.
Yeah.
And I feel like, of course, there's no reason for it to be car-shaped anymore. Can't these just be little spheres, little cylinders or something?
I
There's no
understand.
reason.
Probably, but I think they're going to keep it car shaped.
Really?
I would like the idea that if you got into it, it was just like you were getting into a bar. And I wonder if you'll be able to cruise around in the car, or do you have to exactly say, like when you tell the Uber driver where you're going,
That's the way it's going to be, at least at first.
Yeah. Because now, if you just said, I just want to go for a ride, the car's going to say, I don't do that. You have to have a destination.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Yeah. I don't want you just cruising around your neighborhood looking for trouble. Let's get you somewhere.
So it's going to cut down on crime. Too.
Yeah. Of course it will cut down on crime.
And the legroom.
Oh, the legroom's going to be amazing.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I might even take this front seats out. You know what I mean? So I have a lot more
No point
room.
to have them.
No.
Yeah, just lay down.
Yeah. Or put a table there that I can reach across and shake hands with the other party.
That could work too. That's where we can put all the tables.
Oh, yeah.
Going in the new cars.
Yeah.
We don't need them anymore.
Put them in the cars.
Judah Friedlander is in studio with us. Judah is headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. And Judah's new stand-up album, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. Judah's also doing Sweetwater 420 Fest in Atlanta, April 23rd and the 24th. And the Moonstone Music Festival in Orlando, April 30th and May 1st. Go to JudahFriedlander.com for all additional dates.
And of course, Judah, this year was in the #1 movie of the year. And in my opinion, stole it. Star Wars.
Thank you.
Was a phenomenal piece for you.
I agree. I agree with everything you just said.
Good. That's good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm in Star Wars for about 0.5 seconds.
But it's the best part of that movie, as far
I think
as I'm
so.
concerned. I thought it was so funny how quickly that the word got out. That it was
It was weird. It was weird. I didn't tell anybody about it, and then I think some people saw me in it, some people didn't.
Yeah.
But a fair amount of people saw me in the credits, and I remember some magazines, they were contacting me, wanting me to talk about it. I'm like, there's nothing to talk about. I never have a second. What's there to talk about? Why?
I was getting the biggest kick of how quick that this thing came out that everybody been waiting for.
Yeah.
But the main thing that they were talking about was you.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any, you weren't driving the plot in any direction.
It's a reaction shot. I mean, for I think it's about about a half a second. Yeah. So, but it was fun. Man.
Did they ask you to do it, or did you ask them? How did it come about?
I just showed up, dude.
Yeah.
And I was just walking around. I saw the signs that they were filming, and that's how I've gotten in all my movies. Sometimes I'm walking the streets and camera crews just show up and start filming because you have to have that kind of, quality, that kind of charisma, and where people are like, yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I understand that the article on us on the GPS came out today. I thought we were going to see that first. Sean put
What's
that
the article?
It's about, we do a show called GPS where we go to one town and find out what the rock scene was in a certain year.
Ooh, I like that.
It's really, really a blast because, and you know this from comedy, there are a lot of people responsible for what happens. Some people who are making art, but other people that are supporting art.
Yeah.
It's always cool when there's a great scene for something.
What's your take on that show, Vinyl?
Should be right in my wheelhouse, should be my favorite show, and I haven't connected with it yet.
Yeah, I just saw a little bit of the first one.
I wanted to love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that
to me, it seems like it's the script is probably the big issue.
It's the script, and it's like they couldn't...
It's trying too hard to show you that it's in the 70s or something.
Yeah, the drug scenes, the over-the-top... it's like when you're not really connecting on the way people viewed that music at the time. Like from even that first episode when everyone was like running up to go see.
It feels
the
like
New
it's
York
written
Doll
by
Show.
somebody who wasn't in the scene then, but they're younger and wishes they were. It kind of feels like, you ever see those those TV miniseries. Like one was called the 60s, one was the 70s.
Yeah, I've seen
and
those.
It follows a family, and literally every family member is involved in every major, like, you know, like I think on one of them, you know, like, you know, one of the brother winds up working for Nixon, and then the Watergate scandal's there, and the sister's working for Gloria Steinem, and it's like, come on, it's like, what are the odds of this shit, you know?
The beauty of, let's say, New York in the 70s is that the mainstream media thought that New York was dead, over, and there was great rock and roll being born, great painters, great stand-up comics, great actors and writers, and no one realized it until after, you know, and a lot of it had just the rent was cheap enough for artists to live there.
It was a great, I think, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It was a great city, you know,
but
for art.
When you're thinking, okay, you had, you know, Sam Shepard writing plays on one corner, you had Basquiat painting on the next corner. Then all the comedy clubs were being started. So, you know, you had.
Plus, there were big comics here, you know, from the 60s. You know, Lenny Bruce, Pryor. I think even Cosby. And, you know.
That was an amazing time, the 60s in the Village.
Yeah.
Where it was. Joan Rivers was starting, Cosby was starting, Woody Allen was doing stand up there, and there weren't comedy clubs. They were doing that in and out of you know, jazz bands.
Yeah.
That scene is phenomenal.
Yeah, and the amount of jazz that was in New York.
Yeah.
There's hardly any now. But,
but that was the last real breath.
There's still a lot of comedy going on in New York.
Yeah,
and I think it's interesting because I talk to people about how New York's changed and how it's, and I don't like how it's changed. You know, it's not a very artistic city anymore. It's very corporate, but it's almost like, I almost feel like it's like a kind of a Vegas kind of town now, where like even tourists, like they used to come here for the arts, and now they just kind of come here to party for a few days, you know, and not have to drive a car, and bars are open 3 hours later than their hometowns, and there's tons of restaurants. And but as a comic, it's kind of like there's so many places to perform now. There's more audiences for comedy than at any time I can remember.
Yeah.
So for comedy, even though New York doesn't feel nearly as artistic as it was in the artistic community, and I'm talking about all kinds of art, performance art, visual art is, I think, just much smaller than it used to be. As a comic, there's more audience members than there used to be. So as a comic, it's still good. You know,
well, I saw the pictures.
Maybe even better.
Yeah,
you know,
I saw the pictures you up on the Interrobang when you're running back and forth.
Yeah,
between
from
the two
Cellar
clubs
and the Village Underground. Yeah,
and if I thought to myself, I was a young person who liked comedy. If I looked at that, I go, "Oh, that's the life I'd want to have right there." You know what I mean? Like if you're some kid living somewhere in the country and you're like, "Is there a cool scene to be a part of?" Because the Cellar's just. It's insane with the level of talent there.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. And it's just, they're doing incredible business.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. I mean, I think their venues are the best. They have two venues. I think their venues are the best two venues. And their crowds are great. And when I say venues are good, I mean, you go in there, there's, as an audience member, there's nothing to complain about. It's like the lighting is nice, the seats are comfortable, the sound is excellent, and you're seeing top comics, and so it's like, there's like no faults, and they work really hard at, that's the thing, for a good comedy show, you need more than just good comics,
Right.
You need good owners, you need good staff, you need good sound, lighting, all that kind of stuff. And they put, just like you said when you walk in the Village Underground, it just feels and looks great, so it's
I remember when I was
lucky to be a part of this time, I think, where there's, so many, good audiences in New York and good venues, it's lucky. Yeah.
Well, I love it too because that crowd and the people showing up there, they've got like a sophisticated taste about them. And you also need that audience who has a level of sophistication. They want to see something original, something great, and you need that to push the comedy.
Yeah. You need an open-minded, smart, educated audience.
Right.
And comedy smart audience, not just smart, So it's cool.
Who took these photos of you, by the way? I just
that
love
was Phil Provencio, The great Phil Provencio. He does. He photographs a lot of comics around the city. Really good guy.
If you just check this out, it's you and just out on the streets, and then you in front of the cellar. And I think the last shot from behind as you walking down, I think you're heading towards the stand. And I love the romance of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's just cool, man. You know, that show, that night I did 3 sets. I did the cellar, Village Underground, and then the stand. These photos were taken literally, I had a 3-minute window between the cellar and the Village Underground. And so we just walked right outside to the right of the cellar to Manila Lane, took some photos, and then walked over to the Village Underground right around the corner from the Comedy Cellar. So that photo session is literally about maybe 3-minute stops. Yeah. But it was fun.
I think what's cool about it is no matter what point you get in comedy, it still could be really cool to be doing it. You know what I mean? Like
for me, if you're really working on your stuff, working on yourself, working on your stuff, to me, it's my favorite thing to do. You know, if you're stuck in a rut, not doing new stuff, not growing or stretching or pushing yourself, then it can become like any kind of job, you know, or it's just, it's a job. You're just getting through it. But if you're, not just being safe, doing the same stuff, you're pushing it, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
Still the thrill of failing with a bit that you thought was funny before you got there, still knowing I haven't expressed it.
Not that so much. Yeah. Well, for me recently, I've been talking, I think it's really about, it's weird because it's like you're pushing yourself, but you don't necessarily know where you're going. Because you're a living person. You're always changing, and then the world around you, things are always changing. Like the New York of today isn't the same New York from when I started over 20 years ago. And then politically, the climate's different in the country now than it was. So things are always. It's stand-up is like a living, breathing thing. It's never done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just like a singer can. I don't know. Maybe even songs are never done too. But it's like with comedy, it's always just kind of moving, some way. And you can only plan so much how far, what direction you're moving. You can't be like, all right, I'm going to be this guy now. It's like right now I'm doing a lot of stuff talking about racism, talking about classism, and then other issues. And I also satirize America and the presidential, all the candidates, with just, I actually talk about how I'm a candidate and I take questions from the audience and so some people might say, oh, you're like a political comic now. I'm like, well, I'm just really talking about life and human rights issues and it's not like I made a switch where I'm like, I'm going to be this guy now, but that's where I'm at in life right now and that's the stuff I'm discussing, or satirizing really. I don't really do it in a discussing, preachy kind of way. It's still, my style of comedy, which is, very a lot of satire and just absurdism, Well,
you can be very subversive.
Yeah, and subversive. Yeah. I don't like preaching to the choir. Preaching to the choir does not excite me. Yeah. And recently I've been talking about race a lot, and it's so much fun because at first it was really intimidating for me because when I have a bit on reparations, and I tell you, if you ever want to get an audience if the audience is ever not listening or something, start talking about reparations or race issues, people shut the fuck up. They stop talking. They listen. They won't be laughing, but they're terrified and they don't know what to do. And I always like getting comedy and finding comedy in dark places. Sure. Like even with Trump, I'm never going to do jokes about his hair, but I'll be doing, other stuff, So it's like, with stuff like racism and stuff like that, I mean, that's about as, horrible, in slavery. That's about as horrible an area you can go to try to find comedy, So I enjoy that challenge and I love when the audience gets all quiet and stuff, and then I rip them for it too.
Right.
It's like, so I enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm doing this thing on Bill Hicks coming up pretty soon. Yeah. And
I used to see him live pretty often in the late 80s. Yeah.
What'd you think of his stand-up?
It was great. It was so great. I remember the first time I saw him, it was at the Village Gate. In the late 80s, early 90s, Village Gate used to do comedy on the weekends. And so back then you had the Comedy Cellar, which was kind of like still then, I think, the main place. And then a block and a half away was Boston Comedy Club. And then another block and a half away from both of those was the Village Gate. And the Village Gate was a big venue. It had about, I don't know, must have had 3 to 5 rooms, different things. And they would have a big show that was many more seats than the Comedy Cellar or Boston Comedy Club, probably more seats than both of those combined. And they would have, remember, they always had like they had this one improv group. It was called New York Talk. And I was always like, all right, I'll sit through these guys to get to the comics. And they had a lot of the same comics the Cellar had. But Bill Hicks would perform there a lot. And I don't think he ever performed at the other 2 clubs, but he would do the Village Gate. And wow, I mean, just I remember then, this is late 80s, I think, around like, or 89, 90, somewhere there, I'm guessing. But he was such a powerhouse performer, not just a great mind, but and definitely you can see the Kinison influence in him, definitely, in his style. But compared to like the albums or the specials that I've seen, and I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a fair amount of them, he seems much more subdued and kind of low energy on those. These ones, I mean, I remember him being just dynamic. I remember one time he was up on stage and he started like, I don't know, he was making fun of Elvis or something like that. And he kind of started singing an Elvis song. I think he started singing My Way. And there's like, and all of a sudden he pulls up and the crowd's going nuts. And he pulls a rug that's a carpet rug that's, I guess, a giant rug that's on the stage. No, you couldn't even see it from where you're sitting. And it probably hadn't been moved in like 30 years. And it's probably about 10 feet by 30 feet. He picked up the fucking rug and he starts throwing it into the crowd. And everyone's just going nuts and loving it. So yeah, he was a very dynamic, aggressive performer and brilliant,
But that's the thing. A lot of people end up just talking about his material because it was so strong.
Yeah.
But he had the soul of an entertainer.
Great,
as well.
Great performer. Yeah. And like I said, you can remember when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he kind of sounds like Kinison. And then you learn more about him. And I think he was basically a kid when he started, and Kinison was the big guy in town, and they were friends and stuff, or certainly worked together some. And, that's, I mean, I don't know everything, but from the little bit I know, but yeah, he was great. I would always try to see him, if he was around. Yeah. He was great.
Always great to have you here, my man. It's always a special day.
Yeah, dude.
Judah Friedlander is headlining Tuesday, April 12th at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. Judah's new stand-up album, feature-length stand-up performance, America is the Greatest Country in the United States, will be out later this year. Follow him on Twitter at Judah World Champ. He'll be at the Sweetwater 420 Fest in Atlanta, April 23rd and 24th. The Moonstone Music Festival in Orlando, April 30th and May 1st. And go to JudahFriedlander.com for all additional dates.
And I just want to say my book is still available, If the Raindrops
Love
United.
The book.
It's in bookstores or Amazon. And I just want to say thank you for letting me talk about tables and how they're destroying the country.
Sure. Now we know. Thank you for bringing that word
the whole
again.
Political system.
Yeah.
It's the fucking table.
Now
Get rid of the table.
we know it's been the tables, and now that they're gone and racism's gone,
Racism's gone.
we've got a great new
Tables are
president.
gone. Everyone can get along now in the sex party.
Great. The sex party's here. See you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!